Anything happened this weekend? Well, yeah, some things happened. Where shall we start? Let's start with the big news. Big news is the Sixers season, mercifully, is over. However, the end result was they're running it back. Congratulations, Sixers. Congratulations to all you Sixer fans who have next year to look forward to with the same cast of characters. That's right. They're all coming back. The stars, Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, the 17 front office personnel, they're all back because they did a bang-up job. And there were a lot of excuses that held the Sixers down this season. It was just an excuse-ridden season, and they'll do better next year. Don't worry about it. They'll do better next year. So take that into the offseason. We'll talk about that today. Well, let's talk about the Phillies who can't hit. And I'm going to say something right now. The way that center fielder is struggling, there is no choice but to get him in the minor leagues, get him some at-bats. You got to learn to hit again. He doesn't know how to hit. He's forgotten how to hit. Left-hander's a kryptonite to the guy. He can't hit. You got to get him at-bats. He's got to go down. Now, who do you bring up? Nobody. There's nobody that they have in that system you can bring up. The kid's too young, probably. So I ride this all on the lap of Dave Dombrowski, who hasn't done a good enough job in the outfield. He does not have a backup outfielder that he could throw in there to withstand a slump by his guys that are playing center field and now left field. So there's that. It's a glorious morning. Good morning, Bill Colarulo. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mike. It's so good to see your face, and you came back bearing gifts. Check this out. Look at this Masters hat Mikey Miss brought back for me. Got one for Ray Dunn as well. But, Mike, I never thought I would say this. I missed you, man. I missed you.
You missed me, huh? I don't know if the audience missed me now that I'm raring to go here with this. Listen, I go away for a couple of days. I come back, and the Phillies are like an ordinary team. Their ace pitcher is the ordinary pitcher. What the hell's going on here? What did I leave here, Bill? You couldn't, carry the weight?
Yeah, Wheeler didn't look that great yesterday. But, we got to go all the way back because the first day you missed, man, there was a lot to talk about with Rob Thompson experimenting in left field with a certain player named Edmundo Sosa.
I saw your tweets that night. I was keeping up with it.
How about that?
It's really I go out, he can't play left field. He makes that catch, and then, he messed up like 3 plays. So what was your conclusion about Edmundo Sosa playing left field? You want to? I think the Phillies are reluctant to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, you could tell he was a infielder who's never played outfield before, and there was going to be some growing pains. But I think at this point, you touched on it a little bit when you said Dombrowski doesn't have any other options in the outfield. I think at this point, it's an experiment that they're going to have to continue, especially if you send Marsh down. I think you may have to experiment with Sosa in left field more because Max Kepler hasn't shown either that he's an everyday left fielder. He struggled against left-handed pitching.
Let me tell you something, right? Let me stop you, okay? If you're talking about that as your solution, the Phillies don't win dookie.
I don't know if it's the solution for long term, but you're going to have to do something because they just don't have an option.
Well, that means he's got to make a trade. That means he's got to improve the ball club. I don't think they're adequate enough in the outfield. I didn't think they were from the start. And now it's really manifesting itself. Now, I don't know what kind of trade he can make. I mean, Marsh would have to go on a trade if someone wants to take a chance on a young left-handed hitter. But they're going to have to add another player. They can't get by with Rojas and Sosa playing major minutes. Major minutes. I'm back to the Sixers.
Yeah, you're on the Sixers.
Ray Dunn, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Thank you. Fantastic. Was there something that happened at the Masters? I don't know. Was there an interesting conclusion?
Yeah, man. What a day yesterday was. So,
how many people watched? It's funny. I got to think that this Masters set an all-time record. I don't know. We'll get the ratings numbers, I guess, today. But more people tune into this that aren't even into golf. The lure of the Masters is something really strange, but wonderfully strange.
It's incredible, and not just because it's the Masters. I think when you have two guys in the final pairing that people know their names, right? You got Rory McIlroy, you had Bryson DeChambeau, so people knew who was going into that final day as the potential winners. But somebody did predict Rory was going to win it last week. I do believe that was me.
Gee, that was really you really went out on a limb since he was the prohibitive favorite.
Ray called me out on that because I said,
really?
"Oh, you're really going out on a limb." Yeah. I just had a feeling this was finally going to be his year.
Let me tell you why he won. He's a great player, and
Yeah.
he made a great shot, one great shot there to win the whole thing. He won because nobody else was adequate enough to take it from him. 'Cause he wanted to give that away 100 times.
He tried.
Yeah. He really did, and nobody was adequate enough. Now, Justin Rose made a run, but you can't shoot 75 in the third round and expect to win, right? You just can't. Like that was his doom.
Yeah, he tried. And honestly, I was telling you this off air. I'm watching that 18th hole, and I see Rory miss that putt to bogey the hole to force the playoff, and I'm going, oh, my God. I've never felt bad for an athlete that I had no connection to. I actually started to feel bad for Rory McIlroy, and I'm thinking if he can't win this in the playoff, he's never going to recover from it. And then I was really rooting for the guy. I'm happy he did it. I mean, really, history was made. I mean, I know a lot of people don't follow golf, but he's only the 6th player ever in the history of golf to complete the career Grand Slam, and it hasn't happened in 25 years. You got to go back to Tiger Woods. It was a pretty magical Masters and a magical day yesterday.
Yeah, it was. There are two things. Okay, I don't know how much golf we're going to talk about today with all this other stuff because I'm lit up about the Sixers. But he's got universal appeal. Everybody likes him. And I'm thinking, well, why does everybody like him so much? Everybody roots for him. Like, nobody wanted him to lose that. And I'm going, because nobody else is likable. Like there's nobody on the PGA Tour that is really that likable to overcome the like of Rory, who's kind of unassuming and charming and elf-like, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so.
And here's the second question. What is the lure of the Masters? And I think I've got it. It's almost like a fantasy world. When you see that course, and when you're watching it on TV, you go, like, this is not real. It can't be real. It's so beautiful, it can't be real.
Yeah,
it's like the Disney World of golf.
It's incredible, man. It really is. It's incredible, and you're right. Even the average golf fan is locked in when the Masters hit. It's the Super Bowl of golf. So, I mean, look, you could say the same thing in the Super Bowl. There's not people who don't even watch football will watch the Super Bowl.
Exactly. All right, I'm focused on the Sixers. I want to hammer what was said yesterday with Daryl Morey and their decision to come back with the same crew. I've been pretty straightforward on this thing. When you preside over one of the biggest disasters of your franchise history, if not the biggest, you don't deserve to keep your job. I'm sorry. And I think they've made a mistake here. And I think the owner being absent, he does not get it. He allowed that thing to happen yesterday. He does not get it. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Via text, via calls. I'd love to talk to some people today about the Sixers and the Phillies and also the Masters. If you watched it, tell me what the appeal of it is and what the appeal of Rory McIlroy is, because he is the most popular player in the world right now. Scheffler's the best, but Rory's the most popular. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from
Mike Missanelli show. All right, you know the Sixers thing. It's been like a furnace in my belly for several months now, and the furnace is really burning hot today. But I want to tell the story first of all through the words of Daryl Morey, who talked yesterday. And Ray, you can play cuts 1, 2, 3, and 4, just because I would like that to tell the story before I tell my story. So let's start with Daryl Morey feeling really bad for the fans of this city.
Not where we expected to be, and ownership, myself, Coach Nurse, Joel, Paul, Tyrese, our whole roster. We expect more. We really feel for the fans who put their heart and soul into this team, and we know we've let you down. Obviously, biggest factor that was really hard for us to manage was injuries this year. We missed, you need your top horses in this league, and we missed 134 games to our All-Stars. And the next highest team was like 50 games missed from All-Stars. Ownership gave us the resources to make aggressive moves this offseason to put a championship roster around Joel and Tyrese. And sometimes those aggressive moves don't initially work out, but we feel good about that. Those three guys, our three All-Stars, going forward. I have to do a better job putting a supporting cast around them.
Okay. I'm going to withhold comment. Let's go to number 2, Ray.
When you go through a season like this, you need to really take a step back, and everyone needs to find a mirror, starting with myself. What could have gone better? What can I do better? And there's quite a few things there. I would say one of those things is I was very focused on finding veteran-type players who, generally perform very well in the playoffs. And I didn't put enough emphasis on the team getting through the regular season. And so next season, for sure, we will be a younger, more dynamic group.
Okay. That's got me I got to take a breath after that one. All right. Now let's go with number 3.
Coach Nurse has really done a good job. When you go through a tough time like this, you want to make sure to maximize it, and we feel like we've done that well. Justin Edwards, Jared McCain, Bona, who's had some great minutes here down the stretch, Quentin Grimes, who we got at the trade deadline. These are all guys, in their prime or well before it, into their early parts of their careers, that are going to give us great minutes. It's going to be a much younger, more dynamic group to help us manage through the season.
Okay. And finally, 4.
We need to hit the ground running. Another place that I know I needed to be better was just even starting out. Obviously, we didn't have health to start out, but even factoring that in, we need to hit the ground running starting at the beginning next year. And I didn't set the tone well for the group going into the season, so that will be another area we correct.
All right, let's take that one first. We'll go backwards, Billy. Didn't set the tone well at the start of the season. Now, why was that? Why was the tone not set at the start of the season, Bill?
It's got to be with Joel Embiid.
Of course.
Yeah.
So let's set a tone by letting the guy come in shape, out of shape, the whole bit. And in addition, we'll sign him to a long-term contract. So that was a really good tone, which I talked about tone from day one, did I not? The tone is bad here.
I give you credit for that one.
All right, let's move on. Coach Nurse He's developed younger player. Where in hell has he really developed younger players? Where? Am I blind? Are my eyelids open, Bill? Do you see them? Are they open? Are I seeing something here? Where has he developed younger players? Jeff Doughton? Justin Edwards? Come on now with Justin Edwards. Did he develop him? Did we see enough? Grimes came here. He scored right away. Where did Nick Nurse develop him?
Well, he gave you the Adembona example.
Adembona, if you play that many minutes, you're going to have those kind of numbers if you're Adembona. Did he develop him the entire season? He didn't develop him until, out of necessity, the guy had to play 35 minutes.
I'm with you on this, too.
All right, let's move up. Veteran-type players who perform well in the playoffs. My problem was I didn't give enough thought to getting through the season. Are you kidding? You're the freaking president of basketball operations. You're supposed to know that before it happens.
But he promised next year they're going to be younger and a more dynamic group.
Well, and then, which gets me to feel good about our guys moving forward. Yeah? Ask how many Sixer fans feel good about moving forward with those guys. With the Paul George and Embiid thing, who look like they're cooked, both of them. Feel good? This is a disgrace.
Mike, this is my fear, man. I tried to warn you last week. I said, I have a feeling they're going to sell us on running it all back. And that's exactly what they're going to do. We're going to have Morey. We're going to have Nurse. You're going to have the big three. And we're going to deal with this all again, all offseason leading in. Is Joel ready? Is he not ready? It's a frustrating day.
If you're the president of basketball operations who's been around this league these many years, that you can't look at oft-injured 35 and up-year-old players and expect that they're going to – you're expecting blood from a frickin' stone? How is that savvy as a basketball executive?
Well, and that's the frustrating part of what he says, because the clip you played before that one was him making the excuse, well, we lost 134 games from our All-Stars to injuries. Uh-huh. But yet he's acknowledging, well, that's what happens when you sign a bunch of veteran players. But he wasn't prepared for this. It's a very frustrating day to be a Sixers fan because nothing changed. And I don't really think that was Daryl Morey taking accountability. That's him making excuses for what happened.
That's exactly what that was. And the owner, meanwhile, hiding in a cave somewhere.
That's the thing, Mike. When I heard this,
I just want to be out of this building.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, apparently he was. He stayed away too.
Answer me this: why is Daryl Morey the one that's telling us him and Nick Nurse are coming back? Shouldn't that come from the owner after a disastrous season like this? Why is Daryl Morey at his press conference?
Listen, the owner, he's just not plugged in. If you're plugged in and look at all the owners that take accountability around the league. Like, we're not standing for this. We got to build it. This owner has got so many little other ventures that he's involved in that he's not sunk into what is happening here. He has let this. Listen, Morey talks a good game. He really does, and by all measures, Harris is getting input. Yeah, he's a pretty savvy guy. So is Nick Nurse, pretty good coach, and he listens to it without using his eyeballs because he's not plugged in to what he's seeing. If I'm the owner and I see this mess going on, I go, head's got to roll. They didn't.
Not a single head rolled.
No. Bring back the whole crew.
But they're gonna evaluate the front office, is what he said. Nurse, Elton Brand, all coming back.
Come back to a nice day. Come back to this.
And then the Phillies aren't making you feel any better.
I got Agita. 610-632-0975. Let's hear from you. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nurse to return. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repairs since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of basketball operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game, and while Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
After a 24-58 season, the 76ers will have the 5th best odds to land the top pick in the draft. The lottery will be held Monday, May 12th. The Phillies lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in St. Louis to the Cardinals, including a 7-0 loss on Sunday, where the Phillies only mustered up 3 hits in the game. They return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker taking them out with first pitch at 6:45. And we are less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. We'll have an NFL draft special with Andrew DeCecco on Wednesday night here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update's also brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
10:30, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. If you want to climb in, it's 610-632-0975. To say nothing of the fact that no information was given yesterday about Joel Embiid. None. Except he had surgery. What? For what? What was corrected? What was the problem? What makes you think that he's going to recover from something that you don't even know was fixed? What was fixed? Was anything fixed? We still don't know what was fixed. They went in there with a scope. They might not have done anything.
Yeah, what doesn't make sense is that the scope procedure would have been probably a 6-week recovery. It's a fairly minor thing, so why wouldn't it have been done earlier then? Like, that's the big question that's still not getting answered. Why did they wait all the way until April to get what is a relatively minor procedure performed?
I didn't hear the press conference, obviously. Was he asked
He was.
follow-ups about it? Like, what did he say about the Embiid surgery?
Right. Do we have anything where they go into detail? He says in Morey 20, he says the arthroscopic surgery was the best decision for Embiid. But then he does say in 19 that it's a complex situation. I mean, it was still all very cryptic from what I heard.
Yeah, he was very, very adamant on dodging any sort of detailed response on what happened with Joel Embiid.
Because there was nothing to report. The only conclusion you could come to is they went in there and they said, well, nothing really here. It's a degenerative condition, which means he's probably not going to ever be the same Joel Embiid, and they don't want to say that. But let's get to Daryl Morey 15, and we'll get to the text board in a second. Daryl Morey 15 on why he signed Paul George.
Well, I think with that, Paul we thought was a very good fit, obviously. We brought him here. He's only here because he wants to play with the organization, but very specifically with Joel Embiid. I think, for us, that was the best plan, to put the best team together. And that's a group decision when you make those decisions. A long way of saying, when you have Paul signed long-term, it's important for your MVP level player to also be signed long-term.
So 2 mistakes. You signed Embiid to an extension you didn't have to sign him to. And because you signed Embiid, or because you signed Paul George, you had to give Embiid however the way it went, you wanted them together to play together for that many years, without consideration whether they could play that many years, without consideration that they could play 1 year. And so when you got Paul George, he wanted to play so bad with Embiid, and when he couldn't play with Embiid, what did he do? He shut it the frick down the whole season.
Mike, it's just, and this is what we're going to have next year. Like, that's what makes it so difficult. They're not going to change anything. And Morey, the way he talked about Joel, they are once again banking on him to get back to the MVP caliber player that he was. Even though none of us have faith that that's going to happen, it sounds as if that is the plan forward. Joel will get back to that level, and we're going to continue to build around him.
This guy has no foresight into the modern game. He relies on old premises that no longer work in the NBA. Go to the text board, Ray. What are they saying?
Yeah, a lot of people not happy in here. DeMarcus in Maryland. I can't stand the fact Daryl Morey got up there, smiles and good vibes, saying he's going to be back. It's insane. We're the basketball version of the Jets. They have not a clue about their direction.
It's pretty accurate text. They appear not to have a clue of their direction. What's now? What else you got?
All right, we got an unnamed texter here. Morey sounds like a misprogrammed robot. He doesn't believe a single word he's telling us. What a buffoon and a fraud. As long as he is here, this organization is a trash bag.
The worst thing is he does think he knows what he's talking about. That's worse. There's no ruse here. He actually believes this nonsense that he put out there.
There's actually something worse than Morey believing what he says. That Josh Harris believes what he says. Because that's why he will continue to be the guy making all the decisions for this team. And Mike, we're talking about the Embiid decision and the Paul George decision. I was looking at all the moves that he made. Did he make one good move? Like, I guess, would you say Yabusele was a good signing?
Well, he said it was. Yabusele hit a wall.
I was just looking.
Wait. If the best thing you did, you're telling me, was to get a role player? That was the best thing you did all year?
Well, look at the moves. So they look at the re-signings, right? They bring back Kelly Oubre, who has a player option for this coming season, so he's probably back. Kyle Lowry, Kenyon Martin, Jeff Doughton. Those were the players from last year that they re-signed. Would you say any of those were good moves?
Kyle Lowry wants to play one more year. Kyle, listen to me. Listen. Holmes, listen. It's done. It's over for you. All right? Don't waste anybody's time anymore. I understand. You want to play. You want to get one more year of a salary. Please. Please don't. And don't say you want to return with the Sixers and you'll take chump change. I don't want the Kyle Lowrys of the world anymore. I don't want the Reggie Jacksons of the world. I don't want the Eric Gordons of the world.
Well, then I just went through who they re-signed. You just mentioned. Here's who they added: Paul George, Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond, Eric Gordon, Reggie Jackson. Any of those work out this year?
I don't want any of them.
I mean, every move the guy made. Now, look, I give him credit. The Quentin Grimes trade in the middle of the season, maybe the kid can play.
There you go.
It sounds like they want to get him back. They want to build around Quentin Grimes. But no, it was a very bad year.
Well, I'll tell you what. You're trying to squeeze the last bit of drop of lemon juice out of the lemon when you bring up Quentin Grimes. You celebrate Quentin Grimes. Come on, man. How do you celebrate any player the way they lost games at the end of the year?
You can't. But look, I mean, you look at what Daryl Morey's done. The issue is it's not only how it affected this past season that we just saw being a disaster. It's I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel when you're not going to make drastic changes. When you make the decision to bring back Morey, bring back Nurse, still try to build around this big three, do you have confidence next year's going to be any different?
Let's take a break. I'm going to have to take a lot of breaks today. I'm exhausting my air supply.
Well, it sounded like Morey needed air, too, man. That whole press conference, he's out of breath. What was that about? It was like he was late for the press conference. He had to run there or something.
He just got off the treadmill. Now, trust me, he hasn't seen a treadmill in many years, Bill.
He probably went up the stairs and then couldn't.
All due respect. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli shows. That was a cheap shot. I apologize for that.
That one went too far?
That went too far, the treadmill thing. Mike Missanelli show continues.
Tyrone Johnson.
That's the funny thing that makes me chuckle, too. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. All right, so I was at the Masters. People who listened last week. Going to the Masters is a very interesting experience. It's unlike anything you've probably ever been there. So it's tough to go, though. It's tough to really get in there. So this year, from my investigation, that the Masters withheld some of the tickets they usually make available for this particular Masters. Hence, the price for tickets went up.
Supply and demand.
Yes. And so Friday, I looked at online on what the tickets were going for on Friday morning. I was in the afternoon session Friday. $10,000 for the half day.
That's crazy, man.
$10,000
to walk around.
Yes. Now, there's all kinds of protocol at the Masters. You can't have one of those little chairs that fold out, the little golf chairs that you put down to watch,
Yeah, you're not allowed to bring those in?
No, they have to be Masters chairs. So everything has to be uniform. Like, you can't bring in your own chair.
And what was the deal? No phones?
No phones. You can't have your cell phone on the course.
Because I saw a picture. They had
phone bank.
They had the Masters, and like something big happened at the Masters, and then they had LeBron James scoring his record career points, and it said, notice the difference in the fans. No phones at the Masters. Every single fan with LeBron James looking through a phone.
No phone, and they have a stringent process to get into the place. First of all, you got to walk a mile from the parking lot to get into the place, the long winding road that gets in. But they do have a phone bank there. They have a bank of about maybe 30 phones in case you have to make a phone call.
Like an old-fashioned payphone?
Not a payphone, just a phone that works, free.
Gotcha. What's the line
like? To call
for
somebody
that?
to pick you up or something, you need to call somebody.
Long line for the phones?
No, not really. There's enough phones where people aren't really using the phones anyway. So there's all kinds of security, obviously, around the place. So I station myself. Walking a golf course is grueling, especially one that has hills. So my back was kind of worn out. So I positioned myself in the 8th fairway where every drive seems to land. It's like they're all hitting it 290 to 310. And there's this one spot where they're going to land on the 8th. And I want to see the approaches in and how they do it. So I sit there. I got my legs crossed. Now, I can't really cross my legs very well. Never could. You know that yoga position where you sit with your legs crossed?
Yeah, I'm not good at it either.
So I do that, and my backside, I go, well, I got to lay down a little bit. The sun was out. I got to get a little sun. Been waiting for these guys to come down the fairway. And I lay on my back. Well, I'm there for maybe 30 seconds. And I hear this. You okay, sir? And you feeling okay, sir? And I look at it, it's guard. And he goes, you want to do me a favor and sit up? You can't lay down on the grass.
They don't mess around.
That's it.
You're lucky you didn't get thrown out.
It's all protocol. And all those chairs have to be Masters chairs. And people get there at the early morning to get, if you want to surround the 18th green, you better get there at 6 o'clock. Because you put your chair there. Now, a lot of people, at the beach, where you put your beach chairs and then you go back home and you preserve your spot on the beach, can't do that at the Masters.
Good.
If you're vacant for an hour or two, they let somebody else sit in the chair. You lost your spot.
That's how they should do it. I can't stand at these resorts when people wake up early and take up 12 chairs. By the way, now you're talking about how strict they are at the Masters.
Yeah.
You and I didn't get a chance to talk. Did you see that the college kid, Jose Ballister, that peed in Race Creek?
He peed in the creek.
What? Are you kidding me? With how strict the Masters are and Augusta and all that, and you're going to pee in the creek?
He said he wasn't aware of it. Now, he went to Arizona State, that kid. He's the amateur champion from Spain. So he didn't know that there was a porta potty that was close to that area. He goes, like we all do every now and then, we find a tree and we find some woods, and if you have to go, you have to go, unless there's, you have a lot of restrooms on the course, which not many people do. So the guy went and he tried to, he got away from the crowd. You couldn't really see him. He kind of burrowed in the wooded area, but he peed in Race Creek.
You can't do that. Not at Augusta.
And so the patrons, they call them patrons, not fans.
Can't call them fans.
Or spectators. They're patrons. The patrons saw him kind of go in there, and they realized what he was doing. And when he came out, they gave him an ovation. What? But that's a suspendable offense.
Yeah, you think he's going to get an invite back?
I don't know if he ever will.
Violation.
Massive
It's a
violation.
total violation. In a creek, no less.
Look, we've all done it on the golf course.
Yes,
but you don't do it at
against
Augusta.
a tree.
Yeah.
Against a tree. I don't think I've ever gone in a creek.
I don't think I have either. And certainly not Ray's Creek. Not R-A-Y.
It's Ray Dunn's Creek.
Yeah.
He peed in Ray Dunn's Creek.
I'm livid about it.
I believe it's R-A-E.
It is R-A-E, Bill. We know it's R-A-E.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate the clarification.
Bill knows how to mess up a joke. doesn't he? Honest to God.
I just want the facts to be clear on this one. Which, by the way, while we're talking about the Masters, for one thing, I wanted to call you out earlier on this. I got the Rory pick was the most predictable Monday morning thing for you to deliver.
Listen.
The guy that picked 4-1 seeds to go to the Final Four, the guy that picked Bryce Harper to a home run, picked Rory to win the Masters. Could you ever step out on a ledge ever with a pick?
Listen, okay? I wasn't even going to bring it up that I picked Rory. Everyone in
That's a lie.
everyone in the YouTube chat was like, can't wait to hear Bill say he picked Rory, so I had to say it.
I didn't pick Rory. In fact, you know who I picked. I put money down. I bet Morikawa and I bet Hideki Matsuyama to be a top 5. And I got the Ziggy on either one. They didn't make a move at all. Well, Matsuyama did for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Third day, I guess.
But no, it was a great tournament. I see some people in the YouTube chat saying bored by golf. It's not a sport.
Yeah,
this whole golf isn't a sport thing is a pretty ridiculous take.
Most people say that, and that's why I say more people watch the Masters. So what is the charm of the Masters? Because idiots like that guy who just texted you, golf is boring, bro. You don't get it. That's fine. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But more people who are not that familiar with golf watch the Masters. So what is it? And it's got to be the beauty of it. It's got to be the tinkling piano. It's got the production of it is different. Let's face it.
And Jim Nantz does a great job, man.
Yeah,
That voice.
He does. All right, 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli shows on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nurse to return. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game, and while Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return next season.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
A lot to assess after a 24-58 season. The 76ers with the 5th best odds to land the top pick in the draft. NBA draft lottery will be Monday, May 12th. Phillies lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in St. Louis to the Cardinals, including a 7-0 loss on Sunday. Phillies only mustered up 3 hits in the game. They now return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker takes the mound tonight with first pitch at 6:45. Also, we're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft. Our very own Andrew DeCecco will host the NFL Draft special on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special, and that's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best coverage of the Birds 2025 NFL Draft, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Well, Keith Pompey, who covered this mess of a season. One of the most grueling assignments you could ever have in journalism is to cover a bad team that's interchanging young guys that can't play a lick. And he'll join us at 11:30 for his spin on the direction of this 76er team, which we are assured we feel good about moving forward.
Oh, we feel great.
And our guys. And I feel good about the head coach being back. Listen, Nick Nurse has a good reputation. He didn't do anything this year. I mean, let's really be truthful about this whole thing. He developed younger players. Did he develop Ricky Council at all? Jeff Doughton? Lonnie Walker made 8 threes yesterday. Congratulations, Lonnie.
No.
I mean, come on.
There it is.
What young players are we talking about that he developed?
Yeah, look, Jared McCain came in. He didn't really develop him. McCain came in, had a few good games, and then he got hurt, unfortunately. Now, I'm with you, but see, my biggest frustration with Nick Nurse was last year. You go back to last year when Joel Embiid got hurt, you had a stretch of 30 games or whatever it was to try to figure out how do we survive without Joel on the court. There was no solution. They go into the postseason against the Knicks. When Embiid's on the bench, they were terrible. You come into this season, you brought back Andre Drummond, but yet when Joel Embiid wasn't on the court, you still couldn't figure out how to survive without him, even with Maxey and Paul George. And I know they had injuries too, but he never had answers for a Joel Embiid less team. Is that a word? Embiidless?
Yeah.
Embiidless?
Yeah.
So that's always bothered me with Nick Nurse. But look, if you're bringing back Daryl Morey, you got to bring back Nurse, I guess. I don't want Daryl Morey picking another coach. Morey should have been the one to be fired. And then let the new general manager or president of basketball operations pick his own coach. And there's certainly good coaches now. Memphis fired their coach. Denver fires their coach. But yet we're sitting here with the most disastrous season in history.
So with all due respect to players and their attitudes, do you think there would have been any star player that would have given a crap about whether they had moved on from Daryl Morey or Nick Nurse?
Probably.
Seriously. Like, they desired Nick Nurse so much they were going to go boo-hoo? A move like that?
No, I don't think they would have cared.
Come on, man. All right, meanwhile, the Phillies. Brandon Marsh is hitting $108. When you're 0 for your last 26, you're hitting $108, you can't see the ball. You're not seeing the ball. You need to go to the minor leagues. I know it's drastic. He said, well, Mike, who's going to replace him? Well, they got to figure that out themselves. That's why they get paid big money. Dombrowski gets paid a lot of money to come up with solutions. He doesn't have any solutions in the outfield. Is Justin Crawford ready to come up? I don't know if he's ready to come up. If not, then you got to make a trade. Or you got to try to weather the storm and see if Marsh can rehabilitate his offense at AAA and come back with a little more confidence. He doesn't have any confidence. He doesn't believe he can hit. When you don't believe you can hit, there's no way you're coming out of a slump. If you're a mediocre player in general, how you get out of a slump? You're so down mentally, you believe you can't hit, that you continue to take offers. At that point, you got to change something up. And what you need to change up is you need to go to AAA.
I think it's going to be your buddy Johan Rojas that's going to get the opportunity now.
Be an everyday player? How you feel about that?
I don't feel great, but I feel better about Rojas than I do about Marsh right now. I mean, at least Rojas in his opportunities has gotten on base. He's not striking out at the rate that Brandon Marsh is striking out. But look, everyone keeps throwing around Justin Crawford. Now, I haven't watched Justin Crawford. I doubt a lot of people have watched many, many games of his. But he's another left-handed bat, and he's not a power bat. Guy's not a power hitter.
He would have to play every day. Now, I don't know if he's ready to play every day. I don't know his at-bats in AAA. You get a notion of whether a guy's going to be able to hit big league pitching on how he's hitting in AAA. So I don't know that. I haven't seen a AAA game with him. So I'm not hearing great reports that he's ripping it up, so he must not be ready to come up. Well, you left yourself in this kind of a lull. The general manager is responsible for these kind of things. You got to anticipate.
Yeah, and it wasn't hard to look at last year's Phillies team and realize they needed help in the outfield.
Exactly. We looked at it. What are their weak points? Well, their weak points is they're not exactly deep in outfield positions.
No, they're not. And Max Kepler, he's been struggling as well. It's not just Brandon Marsh.
Big time struggle.
He's only hitting 200 this year.
All right. Yeah, you listen to the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. We broadcast from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities.
Now, you came at me on Twitter. You told me I'm a suck-up because I said that I like the way Rob Thompson is managing this season because I feel like he's managing with a more sense of urgency than he has in the past. And
he's changing the lineup for you,
He
Bill.
is.
He's changing it all the time. He has Stott as the leadoff hitter the other day. He's listening to Bill.
That's damn right, man. I like that he's at least changing things up. And look, Alec Boehm's struggling. He dropped him to 8th on Saturday. Yesterday, he had Boehm in the 6th spot. I just like that he's trying different things. Yesterday, they had Harper and Schwarber at 2 and 3. Like, I do like that Rob Thompson is not being complacent and he's managing with more urgency, I think, in all of his decisions. Like, even going back to the Edmundo Sosa in left field, I don't think Rob Thompson makes that decision last year. But this year, he's trying different things because there's a different feel to this season, that this is it. We got to get over the hump this year. And I kind of like that. Now, all of his decisions haven't been correct. They're never going to be. But I do like the way he's managing more this year.
You know the way I feel about that. I don't like that. When you take a struggling player and you drop him to 8th, he thinks less of himself. He thinks he can hit less. That's a bad confidence thing. I don't like it at all.
Especially with Boehm's personality.
Exactly. He's going to sulk. You got to read the tea leaves.
But you couldn't
I don't think you do any good when a guy is slumping and he comes in and he's dropped. That's a reinforcement that he can't hit.
But you could not keep him at the cleanup spot.
Well, not in the cleanup spot, but you don't have to drop him drastically either. Because, again, you're reinforcing the idea that he can't hit.
Yeah, I was shocked that he dropped him all the way to 8. Like, I was saying what I wanted him to do last week was just flip-flop him with Castellanos. Put Cassie at cleanup, drop Boehm to 6th. I mean, he drops him all the way to 8th the other day. I agree with you. That may be a little bit too low for Boehm. Because if this team's going to do anything this year, Alec Boehm has to be at least some semblance of what he was last year.
There are other people that say, well, he should be dropped. I mean, that should kick him in the ass. Well, in baseball, that doesn't necessarily work that way, where it's a kick in the ass. It's a reinforcement that you're struggling, and they know you're struggling, and your manager doesn't believe you can hit either, in addition to you believing you can't hit. And it doesn't do anybody any good, in my opinion. But that's just me. I would not manage that way.
Yeah, I
would pump him up. I go, Alec, you're the best hitter I've ever seen, and we're going to keep you here. I like you. You're a good hitter. It's just a matter of you getting pitches you can handle.
But when it comes to Alec Boehm, for me, and I don't know if Rob Thompson is managing this way, it's not just the lack of production at the plate. It's also the attitude. Like last year when you get benched for that, this year it's all right, we're moving you down in the lineup. Like how many more times do we have to coddle Alec Boehm?
It's not coddling. It's just believing in a guy. Yeah, you keep getting turned off by his attitude. You got to get past that.
I hate it.
It's a football mentality what you have.
Yeah, but
as a baseball player, when you hit into a double play, you should be disappointed in yourself. I get you shouldn't cry about it, and sometimes he does that.
He does,
but come on, man, get past it. Lay off Alec. Alec.
It's frustrating
when you're making out in baseball. It's not fun.
No, and I understand. And he's had some bad luck. I saw the stat that they put up yesterday with how hard he's hitting the ball and his whiff rate and all that. It's in the top echelons of the league. He's just getting bad luck. But he's got to stop with the sulking. And I was talking to Ray about this last week. Like, Mike, it wears on everybody. Like, if I came in here every day sulking to you about everything that I did, it would start to annoy you too. Like it has.
You mean like I come in every day and sulk?
Yeah, like at every break, I got to hear Mike complaining.
I'm going to tell you.
It gets to you.
Here's a great way to find out a baseball player's mentality is to watch this series that's on Netflix right now. I don't know if you've seen this. A year in the Red Sox, whatever it's called. A year.
I haven't watched it, but I saw it advertised.
All right, there's this guy at first baseman that plays for them, Tristan Salas. You should see how he beats himself up when he doesn't get a hit.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God, dude. It's hysterical. But baseball players are all neurotic like that. And that's what you got to understand.
I'm surprised because in a sport like baseball where it really is a game of failure, like even if you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but you can't be happy with failure. Yes, you know you're going to fail, but you're never happy with failure. And baseball players make themselves crazy when they make an out or strike out or something like this guy. You got to see this, what this guy does to himself.
I got to watch it.
Yeah.
On Netflix, you said.
It's on Netflix. I forget what it's called.
Ray, you know what it
It's
is?
a year in the life of the Boston Red Sox.
I also forget the name of it. I nearly clicked on it last night, and I didn't do it.
It's where that guy, Jaron Duran,
A year with the Red Sox.
a year with the Red Sox. It's called something, though.
Watch the clubhouse. A year with the Red Sox.
Yeah,
Is that what-
Clubhouse, it's called.
Yeah.
A year later. And this guy, Jaron Duran, this center fielder, his little center fielder, he's all muscled up like you, Bill. You like him. But he goes on how he contemplated suicide, that he was failing so bad and people were on him constantly that he
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. Eight-part documentary, it says.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, even though you don't have any skin in the game. But it's pretty interesting to watch how baseball players go through a season and how neurotic they are.
Yeah, I'll watch it. But see, with Bohm, it's just, I know you say leave him alone, which DeWood in our YouTube chat can't believe. He said, did Mike really just say leave Alec alone?
Leave my boy alone.
It's coming off of what happened last year after the All-Star break and then leading into the playoffs, and then you get benched in the NLDS. You're the subject of trade rumors all summer. I would have thought he would have come back with a little bit different of an attitude, and it seems like he's the same old
I think
guy.
it is with you. I think this Aaron Dolan thing got you.
You think I'm jealous?
I think you're totally jealous that a guy like Alec.
I'm not jealous.
Yeah, I think
I would take my wife over Aaron Dolan every day of the week.
But you've said a lot of good things about Eric Dolan. I think you resent the fact that
No, see-
Alec Boehm, who you think is kind of a baby, has landed something like
But no, see, here's how I would look at
that.
it.
If he was a he-man like you, like
Don't you think that should have helped Alec Boehm? Like, if you're able to get,
No, it's
if you're able to land Erin
No,
Dolan,
it's more pressure.
who's professionally successful, she's beautiful, all that, you should have a little more confidence in yourself.
No, it's more
I'm
pressure.
Alec Boehm.
More pressure. Now you got to satisfy her. It's not only a matter of your at bats. It's like what dinner you have to plan. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Outside of maybe the Chiefs, they've
Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, 610-632-0975. We'll get back to the text board. A lot of people on the text board today. I want to talk about this Sixer thing, maybe some Phillies text as well. Just one quick thing on the Masters. I saw a lot of players. You stay in one spot, and players come by, obviously, and just have to wait out. So you're seeing a lot of threesomes, and I saw pretty much every golfer that was playing, including Bernard Longer, who missed the cut when he missed a putt on 18. Did you see this?
I did not. I missed that.
Two over was the cut. He was 2 over, and he missed a putt to make him 3 over and missed. Oh, man, poor guy.
That hurt. And that may be one of his last opportunities, right? He's not a spring chicken.
He said he's retired now.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. So, but he looks like he's 100.
He does look very old.
He's 67 years old, and he's playing with these young. Like his 2 guys that he was playing with, one was 22, one was 21, right? And I'm looking at him, and I go, they're not going anywhere near the guy. Like, well, what do you say to Bernard Longer? Like, you're 21, 22 years old. They're walking by themselves. They got their own little chat going as they're walking down the fairway. I felt sorry for the guy. He's walking down there. He's got his son, who's his caddy. He's like staying away from everybody. He goes, what do I have in common with these kids?
Yeah, nothing. He's
very weird.
Wait, he's a 2-time gold jacket or green jacket
guy, right? He has won. He's won the Masters twice. That's correct.
Yeah, so
he won it away when he was a young man too. Now he's 67.
Yeah, not too bad, man.
But he's still keeping up with these guys. He was 2 over.
That's remarkable that he's able to do that.
It really is.
Because he's not hitting it as long as these guys are.
No, so he's hitting long, like hybrid clubs into greens and stuff.
It's wild. Look, I've gotten my ass kicked by a couple 67-year-old men. So,
yeah. But anyway, with the one other thing, while it costs you maybe $10,000 to get in, you can take solace in the fact that everything else is cheaper.
I know. I was looking at the menu that was being shared.
It's ridiculous. They go crazy for this pimento cheese down there. Right?
Did you get one?
No, I've had them before. I got a Masters Club. It was $3. And ham and turkey. It was great. For $3. It's the highest sandwich is $3.
Can't beat it.
A beer is $3.
Can't beat it.
No, you can't.
Now the only thing
cheese
cheaper
sandwiches is $1.50, and chicken salad $2. Chicken salad sandwich on white bread.
$2.
$2.
The only thing cheaper was what Ray was paying for food and drinks on Friday night. Did you know you got him an all-inclusive ticket?
Yes. I did.
All inclusive.
Some people don't take advantage of that. Ray went to the halftime club. Ray, how was the halftime club?
The entire thing was wonderful. Every bit of that.
I couldn't take any more Ray showing us pictures from the 700 level.
Yeah, but now you've ruined them. It's like when someone sits in first class and then they got to go back to coach.
Yeah, so I made a couple calls to hook them up. In that halftime club, I hung out with Kendall Jenner one night.
Yeah, there was no Kendall Jenner there, but it was still a great time.
No, but people are saying they hung out with Ray Dunn. Is what people are saying.
Yeah. So, Ray, did you get recognized in the in the VIP lounge there?
Yeah, by people I knew. But
wait, people you knew were in the lounge.
Yes, I knew.
Oh, look at
people.
you!
I was surprised. I was like, wow. I show up here. I know people. This is great.
The question: did you take advantage of the free booze?
Yes.
Is that really a question?
I don't think that was ever a question.
Wait, did you have, because they have high-end wines in there.
Oh.
They serve high-end reds in that joint.
Mike, I appreciate you thinking me I was high class to get the high-end wine. They're like, yeah, double rum and Coke's free?
Oh, you want double rum and Coke?
I was like, sweet.
All right. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting little place there.
It was amazing.
I'm glad you had a good time. All right. So where else was I going? Back to the text board. Let's go back to the text board because a lot of people want to talk about this.
Yeah, you mentioned we might have some Phillies texts, and I just want to point out one real quick with how bad the offense has been because we got a text with just the question, is Cody Clemens on this team? And I think that shows you just how bad the bats were this weekend.
Cody Clemens is on this team, isn't he?
He is. They just haven't given him a lot of opportunities.
If you're looking to give Cody Clemens opportunities, things have not been going good for who you have.
Well,
he's had 3 plate appearances this year. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
What are you going to play him? Where are you going to play him? The only place you can play him is first base. You can't play him in the left field. You can't play him in center field. Where are you going to play? This is the thing that Dombrowski's responsible for. He's got no versatile players on this team that can play outfield. Look at them all.
I'm looking. He had 7 appearances in left field last year. So I guess technically you could put him out there.
They don't trust them at all out there. They're loath to put him out there.
Yeah. So he is on the team to answer the question, but
all right,
not helping him.
Phil in Florida is saying Sixers must get rid of Embiid. He is a cancer. Let Morey convince one of 30 teams to take Embiid. Don't understand Morey believing that centers lead teams to titles.
He's not a cancer, but he's just never going to be the same. It's clear, and maybe they should have factored that in before they signed him that long-term deal and had this long-range plan where you sign a guy in 4 years and he's going to have a running mate who's going to be 74 by the time his contract's over, and Paul George.
I still don't understand that reasoning, though, that he gave. When Morey says, Paul George, we signed Paul George, so we had to extend Joel Embiid. I don't get
We're going to let Daryl Morey tell the story. We're going to do it every hour. He can tell us, let me tell you about a story about a man named Morey. We're going to let him speak because I've spoken enough about this whole thing. But let's go to the phones. We got Reggie calling in from Oklahoma City. What's up, Reggie?
Reggie, this Mike, this is your friend from 20th and Lehigh.
Oh, what's up, Reg?
I want to bust Bill's chops again.
All right, go ahead.
What do you got?
Feel free.
All right. Last week, your first day that you were not there, Bill says to Ray, I'm going to be mostly unbearable. And I heard that, and I said, that's not necessarily different than any other day.
Oh! That's good stuff, Reg.
I'm the not necessarily when I made that first phone call. Daryl Morey, when he was talking, every time he speaks, I visualize, and I'm being nice, a pile of cotton candy getting higher and higher and higher, but none of his words have any substance to it. It's just like eating cotton candy. You see it, but ain't nothing there. Absolutely nothing. This is the disappointment.
Reg, you're on fire today, brother. You're on fire.
All right.
What are you doing in Oklahoma City, man? What's up in Oklahoma City?
I'm taking a load of adult beverages from Milwaukee out to Las Vegas.
Oh, look at this.
I was at the Miller place in Milwaukee a couple of days ago.
All right. Well, don't hit any of those. Make sure the pallet's full,
No.
All right.
Oh, yeah, they keep it sealed. They seal it from the drivers.
They seal it, huh? Those tricky bastards. All right, I think Reggie.
Oh, did he drop off?
He dropped off.
Yeah, what he was talking about
on the road.
On Wednesday when you weren't here, I started the show saying I was going to be insufferable because of the whole Edmundo Sosa thing.
Hold on a second. Because you couldn't wait to tweet that out after he made the catch. And then it's like
we could go back even before that. Our argument was that they would never put him in left field with Wheeler on the mound. And then once the lineup came out, I was already doing a victory lap.
How'd that pop fly? How'd that affect Wheeler?
That was all Rojas, man.
Oh, but how did it affect Wheeler?
But that's on your boy Rojas.
It's not on my boy Rojas. It was on my boy Rojas. I mean, Sosa is a more distinctive personality than Rojas. So when Rojas heard Sosa say something, now he thought he was saying, I got it.
Now, Thompson.
That's how you saw it mouth something, didn't you?
He was saying, you.
But
you, which he shouldn't have said anything.
Was like saying, I don't know, me, I don't know.
It's got to be on the center fielder. But look, Thompson took your approach yesterday and went with a more defensive outfield with Wheeler on the mound. They put Marsh in left, they put Rojas in center. Worked out great. A lot of production at the plate yesterday.
Rojas should have screamed, "Yo lo tengo," but he doesn't have those kind of chops yet. Sosa's one of those personalities that's strong. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nurse to return. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game, and while Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return next year.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
Plenty to assess after a 24-58 season. 76ers with fifth best odds to land the top pick in the draft. Lottery will be Monday, May 12th. Coming up, the Inquirer's Keith Pompey will join us at 11:25 to talk about the 76ers, that press conference yesterday, and everything going on with the organization. The Phillies lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in St. Louis to the Cardinals, including a 7-0 loss on Sunday. The Phillies only mustered up 3 hits. Phils return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker taking the mound with first pitch at 6:45. Also, we're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft, and our own Andrew DeCecco will host an NFL Draft special on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Batteries Plus. Remember when you had a guy, someone who could fix anything? They still exist at Batteries Plus. Their expert knowledge on batteries will have you on your way and good to go in no time. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best coverage of the Birds 2025 NFL Draft, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
man who had to suffer through this season along with us. In fact, even more, because I don't know how my eyeballs can only take like maybe 20 games of bad basketball, and then they shut down. My man had to cover every one of these games, and he's drunk with bad basketball. But he's free now. He is the man who covers the Sixers for the Inquirer. Keith Pompey joins us. Hello, Keith.
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Keith, how you feeling? You weary? Finally, it's over. You know, you can breathe.
Yeah, you know what? It was crazy because you know what, Mike. I mean, you remember the process, right?
Uh-huh.
And to me, it got to a point that this was worse than the process. It was like harder to watch at times, but you always knew that with the process, they had a future. You know, even though they didn't do everything right with the future, there was a future. And you're looking at this one and you're saying, man, I don't know how they're going to get out of this. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
but hold on, Keith. But rest assured, the general manager says he feels good about our guys moving forward.
Yeah, but you know what else is he going to say, right? You know, I mean, you know, when you hear people say stuff like that, it's always you know how it is. It's always whenever somebody has a surgery, it's always a successful surgery. And whenever someone makes a draft pick, they always say, "Oh, this is the guy we wanted." And then after a season, it's always like, "We feel great about our future." You know,
No, I get it, and you have to wade through this propaganda like we all have to wade through. But let's just take it. Looks like they're running it back with the 3 stars. Now he promises that they're going to get younger. Instead, you know, he made all these misjudgments with older players, which I thought from the beginning was a misjudgment. He has made, and this whole front office has made so many mistakes. I'm stunned that the owner hasn't made him accountable, and he's going to bring back the same thing. Now, I know you're in a tough spot. Maybe you can't say that, but did it shock you that they're going to come back with the same outlook?
You know, it did, but it didn't, if that makes sense. And the reason being is, you know, when we look at it, they made a lot of mistakes, right? But this is also an era where you pass the buck. And we also got to realize that, you know, Josh Harris is the owner of the Commanders, and the Commanders are trying to get a new stadium in D.C. And how much, and then, you know, you have Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse with 3 years left on their deals. Same thing with Elton Brand. So it's one of those things where, are you willing to spend a lot of money to get rid of these guys, knowing in order for you to get out of this mess, I'm gonna have to spend more money on let's say they wanted to go after Bob Myers. You know, he's not leaving LA unless you pay him a lot of money. So when you factor in the fact that the Commanders need a new stadium, or they want a new stadium, and you know, right now that team is the team that's trending upwards to whereas that's where the money is going to go to. And what you're going to do is you're going to give them a chance to say, hey, we can work through this and like take it from there. Now, the one thing is, it seems like there are going to be some fall guys in this, because what they're saying is they're going to evaluate the coaching staff, they're going to evaluate members of the front office, and they're going to evaluate the roster. So what that means is they're probably going to upgrade. They're going to make some upgrades there and make it seem like, okay, we got new people in place and we're going to move forward. But to me, the one thing that I will say that, you know, typically when a guy makes the mistake and you go out there and you get a Paul George, for instance, and he doesn't live up to his contract, you give Joel Embiid an extension and he doesn't live up to that. Typically, the president of basketball ops is a guy that's going to go. But you know, we talked about the other things and he's going to stay. But you know, to my surprise, you know, in a perfect world, or not a perfect world, but if everything was equal, if this was the only team that Josh Harris had, if Daryl Morey wasn't under contract for as long as he is, you know, you would expect that Daryl Morey would have been the guy that goes.
Yeah, and here's the problem with that, because it makes the fan base feel even worse. It makes the fan base feel that the owner is detached from the entity. Like he's not he's not following it closely enough. Like we are all fine. Like there's nothing wrong, and you come back with the same thing. Now, I don't know whether that engenders trust in anybody when it comes to this team. So, all right, I get it, and they're gonna run. They have no choice at this point but to rely on the Embiid, George, Maxey triumvirate, and maybe some younger players, and maybe they have a new outlook, and maybe fans buy into it. But this is an absolute disgrace. And you said it. It's worse than the process. It can't be more of a colossal failure, and they're going to come back with the same failure people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, because think about it, though, Mike. I mean, like, the reason I'm not so surprised, because think about this. You remember how when they wanted to go out there and they said we need shooters. So what did they do? They got Ersan Ilyasova and Marco Bellinelli. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they lose in the second round to the Celtics. And it goes, well, you know what? We got to get tougher. So then they didn't re-sign the shooters, and they went out there and got physical guys. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, guess what? We need shooters again. So now it's like, we need veterans to help us win a championship. Oh, well, that didn't work out, so now we got to get younger again, right? And part of the reason why they have to get younger, and they're talking about the guys that they have, is, let's be honest, in order for you to get you don't have the cap space. There's the second apron. You know, we don't know what Paul George is going to be like. We don't know what Joel Embiid is going to be like. Of course, at this time of the year, everyone is optimistic. But in order for you to go out there and get a difference maker, it has to be through the draft, which is going to be a young guy. But then again, these other guys that they're talking about, you know, like Justin Edwards and you know, Adem Bona, guys like that, they don't demand a lot of money. So you're basically getting what you can afford. Yeah. You cannot afford to go out there and get a veteran who's going to be a difference maker because somebody's going to outbid you. You just don't have the money. So to me, when we hear like, yeah, you're going to get younger. Now, again, Quentin Grimes, you're going to try to sign him. Yabusele, you are. But you can't go out there and get a guy that you're going to say, okay, this guy right now, we know that he's going to push us over the hump, because you can't afford it. All you can afford is young talent.
I got it. We're talking to Keith Pompey. He covers the Sixers for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and he's been freed. Although he's got the off-season stories that he's got to do, so he's still on call. Let's talk about the Embiid thing. Now, I don't know, Keith. You might have some knowledge that I don't have, but he had surgery, and he's expected to make a full recovery. And we talked about that principle earlier in this interview. But what is wrong? Have they said what they fixed or repaired or looked at, or like it seems ridiculous?
Yeah, and no, they haven't. They haven't. They haven't been transparent at all with the Joel situation. And the thing about it is, Mike, you know, it was one of those things where, you know, I need to have surgery. I need to have a long break. That's what he was saying, right? You know, he's leaking that out to people. The Sixers are saying he doesn't need surgery. You know, everything's fine. So next thing you know, when you're thinking surgery, you're thinking like, okay, they're going to do some real stuff. Not to say that the surgery he had wasn't real, but typically, you know, the surgery that he had is maybe they're doing something different. But typically, when people get that, they're cleaning out things. They're maybe doing minor things. To whereas you're only out 6 weeks. So we waited a long time for this guy to have this surgery, whereas if it was just this simple, this is something he could have had in the beginning of the season, right? Or now, again, I get it. You know, he tried to play through it. He couldn't. But to me, it's kind of like, I don't know if this surgery is going to be the answer to what we saw he couldn't do early on. And if it is, again, why didn't you do it sooner, right? But like as I said before, it's the end of the season, and whenever they have, you know, press conferences, especially when, you know, the fan base turns against you and everything, there's always one of those times where the general manager or the president of basketball ops are trying to convince you that they know what's going on, like, or they know that everything is going to be perfect when the guy gets back. But again, it's just like a hope. Like it's just you're just hoping and praying that everything is going to work out because they don't know.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. 'Cause normally you say, "Oh yeah, we went in there, we repaired X." They haven't said anything, which means what they found
No.
was a degenerative condition that's never going to improved. So I'm flabbergasted. I really am. I've never seen anything like this, where people come back and they keep their jobs after they presided over such a mess. Keith, what's next for you? What do? You take some time off now?
You know, it's weird. Like I was talking to your producer before I came on. I was like, dude, I was thinking that I wasn't going to take time off because I was thinking I would be having to look for a new president of basketball ops and maybe a new coach. And now it's like I'm like, hey, I'm just here. So I'm just doing the end of season stories, and being a girl dad, picking my daughter up from practice and from school.
So they did you a favor by bringing back Morey and Nurse.
Well, yeah, I guess kind of, sort of, but kind of, sort of. But it's just bizarre because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and even after that press conference, I do not feel convinced that the Sixers are going to turn anything around. I just don't feel it.
I hear you, Keith. Always a pleasure, man. Take some time.
Thanks
off.
for having me on, Mike.
All right, man. There he is, Keith Pompey. He's the best.
Didn't really give us much positivity.
No,
there's no positivity to be had.
The team. There's like what do you say? Like, how could you be misguided enough to think that they bring back those guys and they bring back the same front office, the same coach, that things are going to change? What is going to change? Is George going to get younger and more enthusiastic about playing here? Is Embiid going to improve? He's going to get healthier? No, nothing's going to change. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitalico, and Silvana Keller.
got this signing bonus contest going on. You want to be listening it to 12 noon. I'm going to give you another password, a chance to win $1,000 in this company-wide contest sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. You can look at our contest rules online at 975thefanatic.com. $1,000 is at stake, so stay tuned for that. The Fanatic signing bonus contest. Also, we got the news at noon coming up, and we got LeBron James.
There's a couple of good ones in there.
Featuring it today.
But as you're talking about money, there's an interesting life question going on in the YouTube chat, and I told them I would ask you your opinion.
Life question. I love life questions.
So they want to know, how much do you tip the valet that goes and gets your car?
Where?
It's a good point. Yeah, this is more of an in general question, but I guess what you're saying is it depends on where you are.
You're talking about a parking garage.
Parking garage, or like, what if you go to a restaurant and they only have valet?
It's a really good question. Now, if you're recognized, you
got to give them a bigger tip.
A restaurant is usually a $5 bill.
That's what I said, $5, and they were calling me money bags in the YouTube chat.
Well, most people would just like to give $2, which is all right. How much is the valet?
What if it's complimentary? What if it's a complimentary valet for the restaurant?
Complimentary is definitely $5.
Okay.
If it's $30 that you're paying for parking, maybe you don't want to give an extra $5 because you're sick of the price tag.
But really, in 2025, can you really hand people dollar bills anymore? Like, I think it's got to at least be a 5 spot, no matter what.
If you're paying $30 for parking, $3 is fine.
Now, I attempt to avoid valet at all costs. I do not like valeting my car. I hate it. I'd rather just park my car myself, and I will. It's not because I don't want to give the tip.
Sometimes you don't have a choice in the city where you pull into these garages where they take your car.
And I hate that. I try to find the parking garages where I can park it myself.
I hear. I do the same thing. But you do it to avoid the tip.
No, it's not to avoid the tip.
I think it is.
I just don't like people getting in my car.
It's one of those old frugal tricks of yours.
No, I don't know what's in my car. I don't know. The whole thing. Plus, I don't mind walking, so I'll park far just to walk.
No, listen, I agree with you. I try to find street parking all the time, and I'm usually Magic Mike when it comes to that.
Are you?
Yeah. It's unbelievable how something will open up for me.
Magic Mike, he says.
Yeah, Magic Mike, a parking space opens up for me.
Did you like that movie? Did you watch all those?
I never saw it.
Were those all your favorite flicks? The Magic Mike series?
I never saw Magic Mike starring Bill Colarulo.
Wait,
that's a great compliment for you.
How many Magic Mikes did they make? There was at least 2.
That lunkhead was in it, right?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. He looks like a lunkhead, doesn't he? My name's Channing Tatum.
That's usually your nickname.
I'm a lunkhead. Like Bill Colarulo.
Lunkhead. I believe you called me a lunkhead on Tuesday.
All right, so that's what's going on in the chat.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate. Some people are saying $20. That's ridiculous. No, nobody's giving a
$20 tip. What? Are you kidding me? No, it's a five spot. But I go to the like when I have an appointment with my doctor at the Perlman Center there on 34th and Civic Center Boulevard. I always valet. Yeah, finding a parking space for a medical building is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not easy.
So I pull up, they valet it, boom, it's $9. Can't beat that.
No, it's not too bad.
And so on a $9, I would give it a $3 tip.
$3 on a $9.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I have a problem because I rarely carry cash.
Yeah, but what I did...
So that's a big problem.
Yeah, so when you go there, you got to make sure you have some cash. What I do is I fold the bills up to make it look like it's even more. And they give you like a plastic sleeve. And so you stick it in there.
Oh, so they don't even know.
Sleeve. They have no idea.
So I'll do that sometimes at the car wash when they're cleaning the tires at the end. Is you just push it in. You make it look like you gave them more than you did.
Let me ask you a question about car washes. I'm glad you brought this up. I got this car wash around me that I take the car to. This guy is the most miserable guy on the face of the earth. It's like service with a sneer. The guy. I mean, the guy can't be more rude, and I have no idea. He knows he's got people trapped because it's the most convenient car wash there.
Yeah, I mean, but put yourself in his shoes.
What do you want?
With all this cold weather, he's got to be outside.
$12. No, he's inside.
Oh, this is the cashier.
He's the owner. He's the guy that sprays your wheels.
Yeah, so he's outside.
He takes the money. He's inside. It's inside.
But it's still the garage door's open. I'm sure it's still cold and he's wet.
I don't care. He owns the place. You'll give me $12. Then I give $2 to the guy who dries it off.
You bringing the Telluride there or the Mercedes there?
Both.
See, the one near me is the automatic. I just have the monthly membership, so you go.
You got a monthly membership. See, you got a fancy Jersey car wash where they got those supersonic vacuums.
Yeah, everything's just on. But you got to do it all yourself after. Like after you go through, you dry it yourself.
Those vacuums they're unbelievable.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah, I got an old-fashioned one.
Ray, where do you take your
long
car?
hose?
Where does Ray take his car to get it washed?
Natural, baby. Next time it rains will be the next time that car gets washed.
When was the last time you had that puppy washed, Ray?
I couldn't tell you. I think I've ever had it washed.
It's funny because I grew up washing cars. You know, my father go into a car wash. You got to be kidding me, man. Get a hose out, get some sponges, and get some and use the dishwashing liquid. Dishwashing liquid ruins the finish.
Dishwashing liquid.
Yeah, that's what they used to use. The dishwashing liquid. Car wash. Yeah. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nurse to return. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game. While Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
They'll assess a lot after a 24-58 season. 76ers were the fifth best odds to land the top pick in the draft. The lottery will be Monday, May 12th. Keep Pay joined us earlier this hour. You can catch that conversation with the Inquirer Sixers beat writer reporter on our website, 975thefanatic.com. The Phillies lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in St. Louis. The Cardinals blew a 7-0 loss on Sunday. Phillies only mustered up 3 hits in that game. Phillies return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker takes the mound with first pitch at 6:45. Also, we're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft. Our own Andrew DeCecco will host the NFL Draft special right here at 6 o'clock Wednesday night on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by AAA Car Care. Come to your local AAA Car Care Center this month and buy 3 select tires. You get the 4th tire free, plus a free alignment. Restrictions apply. See terms for details. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best coverage of the Birds 2025 NFL Draft, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show. We got the news and noon coming up at noon, ironically enough. Bill spent a weekend hanging out with Brandon Graham. You guys were besties, right?
Yeah, it was a fun Saturday night, man. We were over at Ladder 15 doing an event for Crooked Tea. So it's a new spiked tea here in Philadelphia.
Did you get crooked?
I got crooked, man. I'll tell you who got crooked. Brandon Graham, I think.
Really?
Because
you pound a few of those?
Well, we were behind the bar giving out these crooked teas, which are awesome, by the way. It's all organic. They list all the ingredients.
It's organic yet alcoholic?
Correct, but delicious.
I'm glad you're getting pounded organically.
Delicious. But everybody wants to chug a crooked tea with Brandon Graham. I think I counted at least 11 or 12 that he took down behind the bar in about a 15-minute span.
Wow.
He's a big dude, though, man.
Big guys can drink, I guess.
I mean, I feel like I'm not a small guy. I felt tiny standing next to BJ.
So you weren't flexing around him like you usually do around here?
No, I wasn't flexing.
No? Did you wear a tight shirt, or were you too embarrassed?
I don't think my shirt was too tight. I mean, it was a large, like usual. Always rocking the large shirts. But it was a fun night, man. There were a lot of people down there, and it was just, he's a nice guy. Super nice.
Thank you, 97.5.
There you go. Yeah, Brandon Graham.
But really, check out those crooked teas. They're pretty good.
Did you bring one in?
I think we got them over in the promotions. I'll get Petrilli to bring one down because we had a couple of cases, but we were giving them away for free at Ladder 15. People were going nuts for these things.
Petrilli made some coffee down there. He was the guy that made the coffee.
That's like gasoline.
It is. He made mud.
It's thick. It's very thick.
I planted basilico in it.
Like I like a strong coffee, but that is like on a different level.
By the way, speaking of booze, we got the Fanatic Deal of the Week from Broad Street Brewing. $50 voucher to Broad Street Brewing. Now, there ain't no Broad Street in Bristol, but it's Broad Street Brewing in Bristol.
Have you been there or no?
No, I have not. $50 voucher, though, you just get it for half price, $25. It celebrates Philly's vibrant culture and rich history, expertly crafted beer that pays tribute to the spirit of Philadelphia and the town of Bristol and Mike Missanelli, where the statue of Mike Missanelli is in Bristol.
Is there a statue? I didn't see it when I was there.
It's got all kinds of pigeon crap on it. Right?
I did go past your old house.
They don't clean it.
We did the Mike Missanelli tour, my wife and I, when we went.
Yeah, there you go.
There's 2 deals of the week this week.
Yes, and the other one is the Dover Motor Speedway. So all you motorheads out there. 50% off 2 race tickets and 2 front stretch access passes for the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 NASCAR Cup Series race, July 20th at Dover Motor Speedway.
Nice. I was down there last year around this time for that. We did a show from there on a Saturday morning. Now, you talk about motorheads. Mm-hmm. I know it's a different type of motorhead. I took my son to the Flyers game on Saturday. Motocross, whatever it's called, was at Lincoln Financial Field. Uh-huh. It was a disaster trying to get down there. I didn't realize how many people. Motocross didn't start till 2:30. I got there at noon for a 12:30 Flyers game thinking they're not going to be down here yet. I guess you tailgate for motocross?
What did they do? They put down dirt and stuff?
Yeah, they had all the motorcycles at Lincoln Financial Field doing that stuff.
They rip up the field?
I don't know how they did it, but it was disastrous trying to find parking down there to get to that game. I could not believe how many people were down there for that motocross thing.
Well, see, if the stadium was downtown, you would have just taken transportation, public transportation.
Yeah, you can't do it, though.
You can't do that now.
And people wondering, my son, first hockey game.
Oh, did you like it?
Bored out of his mind.
Was he bored?
Yeah. I tried so hard, too. Tried to get him excited. We got there early. He loved the, beginnings, with Gritty coming out and all that stuff. But then once the game started, I got him 2 cotton candies.
Your son and I have a lot in common when it comes to watching a hockey game.
Shake Shack. Hold on, but here's the funny thing. So it was season ticket appreciation day, right?
Yeah.
So I get a text message because I'm a season ticket holder. Congratulations.
You went right past that one, Ray.
I heard you.
Yeah, I went right past.
Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. You won. You won something. Come to section, whatever, to pick it up. I'm like, I wonder what I won. So me and my son walk over. The guy in front of me gives his name, and he won a ride on the Zamboni. So I'm like, this is great. Maybe I'm going to get my son a ride on the Zamboni. So I go up, give him my name, Bill Colarulo. She types in. She goes, okay, what size T-shirt are you? I got a cheap T-shirt, man. The guy in front of me got a ride on the Zamboni.
Wow. You got a Flyer T-shirt, though?
Yeah.
Oh, well, in that case.
A bright orange T-shirt.
That's more valuable, don't you think?
I wanted my son to ride the Zamboni.
The Flyer one-dimension logo, a puck with a wing. With a wing and a leg.
It's traditional.
Anyway, it's 12 noon, and it is, ladies and gentlemen, happy lunchtime because it's time for the news at noon. Oh, so before we get to the news at noon,
We're
Bill,
giving away some cash.
that's right. It's time to give away some cash. Right, hit it.
The Fanatic signing bonus.
That is correct. The Fanatic signing bonus. I'm about to give you a keyword. Listen up. Write it down. The keyword is dollar. D-O-L-L-A-R. Not like I say it, dollar. D-O-L-L-A-R. Dollar. You have until 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or our website, 975thefanatic.com, or you can text it real quick to the special contest short code, which is 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. We want to get a winner today. Each winner will get a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone. Contest rules are at 975thefanatic.com. The Fanatic signing bonus sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday, 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 and 5 p.m. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news at noon. Kick!
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All righty, a man named Ray Dunn is presenting us 3 stories of great interest. Ray, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
So interesting. So intriguing. This first one actually is to me because it's a few days old and I feel like it's gone through the news cycle, but I want to make sure that I get your opinion on it. I'm very intrigued the way you view this one. LeBron James, never one to be out of the public eye, out of criticism when it comes to sports media. Isaiah Thomas on NBA TV saw LeBron James warming up shirtless for a game last week and decided it was time to tee off on LeBron James for this.
I just totally 100% object to this. And if I was the GM or coach,
Me too.
I would never let one of my players walk out on the floor looking like this. I mean, we are a professional NBA league. We ain't summer league. We ain't at the YMCA.
Listen, I think coaches got to go back to suits.
Absolutely.
I just mean
absolutely. I just think
college and pro.
I just think the professionalism in our NBA league has diminished so much. And I look, I like LeBron. I'm a fan of his, so forth and so on. But to walk out on the floor before a game with no shirt on and shoot, I mean, come on, man. Where we at? What we doing? Where we at? Now, if you want to, Adam Silver, if you want to find somebody, find that. Put a fine on that.
Here, Isaiah. Ray, tell me the truth. What's the first thing you thought about when you did this story?
I don't know.
You know what it is? Colarulo doing the lawn with no shirt on.
I didn't even think of that.
He's LeBron James without the lawnmower.
The first thing I thought of was, if I say I'm okay with it, I'm going to get killed for this.
Well, of course you're okay with it.
But here's why. I mean, he's talking about we're professional basketball players. They do the same thing in the NFL. When they come out and warm up on the field, a lot of guys will come out with no shirt on. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It's different. You're showing that you're indifferent to the bad weather. You're showing that this weather doesn't bother me. I'm going to show you why. It's different. Well, why would he come out shirtless? What's the point? To show off? This is what I have these shirtless dudes. What are you doing? You're so in love with yourself and you got to show off? Like you?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it, LeBron.
Of course
Absolutely
you don't have an issue with it.
No issues.
No issue.
Come on, man.
Haters going to hate. Look, Isaiah Thomas, it's because he was never all jacked up. That's what it is.
I tell you, Thomas was built fine for a basketball player. But he's right about his instincts here. What is the reason why you would be shirtless? Just to show off. That's it. Come on, man.
A little jealousy
it's so
from Isaiah.
Trite. It's trite. Come on, LeBron.
Biggest problem with the NBA right now, LeBron being shirtless. That's what it is.
And the coach is not wearing suits.
Believe me, there's many more problems than that, Ray. But come on, what's the point of the shirtless thing? I don't get the point. Put on a tank shirt. You can still show your tats.
YouTube wants to know if you wear a T-shirt in the hot tub, Mike.
No, I do not wear a T-shirt in a hot tub because I got nice little hard breasts for an old guy.
He just doesn't need to show them off.
I got cute little nipples, Bill.
What are we thinking? Shirtless Thursdays we'll do on the show?
I've been told that by many ladies.
We got nice
Your
nips?
nipples are cute. I know.
Cute nipples.
Yeah.
I got nice nips too, by the way.
Yeah, very tiny. Yours are probably like
Like little pepperonis I got.
yeah. Ugh.
Not too big.
Ew.
Nice. I'll show you during the break.
Oh God! Like what? Big silver dollar nipples?
No,
you're
they're not
driving
bad.
around?
I got a nice nip.
Come on, man. All right, Ray can't do the second story.
We're gonna put up. Yeah, we're gonna debate who's got nicer nipples, me or Mike.
You know, when I put this together,
Nothing worse than big nipples. Come on, man.
No, I don't have big ones.
when I
You
put
probably got a big sloppy hairy nipples too. Oh.
You think I'm hairy? I shaved the chest.
all right, moving on.
Go ahead, Ray. Disgusto-meter next to me over here.
I put this on the sheet.
Did you think we were going here
Never
with
thought
it?
we'd get to this conversation. All right, I'm going to go to Masters Sunday, and we know what happened. Rory wins. Had everybody talking. Who wasn't talking was Rory, apparently, to Bryson DeChambeau throughout the entire round that they played together.
Did you speak to him in there? How's he doing? Do you know? No idea. No, didn't talk to me once all day.
Did you try and initiate conversation with Rory at all?
He wouldn't talk to me.
Good for Rory.
I love it.
Screw him.
I love
You
it.
LIV bastard.
So
I'm not talking to you. I got gamesmanship today. I'm focused. And I didn't like the fact that you were exhorting the crowd at the end of round 3, by the way.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Bryson even said anything about it. Like, I don't think it's that uncommon. And I was looking back. I was remembering in 2019, I think it was, when Tiger and Finau were together in the final round. They're like friends. Tiger didn't say a word to him either. Like, you're trying to win the Masters, man. This is the final round. I'm okay with not saying a word to my opponent.
Yeah, he did it for a reason, though. He doesn't like DeChambeau.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's a live thing, and it's also DeChambeau is too showy.
He's growing on me, though, Bryson. He's growing on me.
I'm glad he got pummeled in that last round. There, go ahead.
All right, last one for you. I want to know whether you love it or you hate it. There was some fun had on the Tigers broadcast on Saturday as Jason Benetti, Andy Dirks both going into their best Masters impression while Jackson Jobe pitched in the 6th inning.
Jobe on 6, who's been dynamic so far today. 153 yards out. He elects for the 800. From 60 feet 6 inches, he goes fastball. Just off the edge of the green. You could argue that baseball is a sport that actually could be called like golf. Very calming tapper. And he just taps it in with a throw to first. Jobe through 2. Here on 6. Even par for the inning. For the 7th tee box he goes. See what he chooses against Castro.
Yeah, okay. I like it. It went on too long.
Yeah, a little too much, but it was good.
I liked the initial one because it got me laughing.
Yeah.
But you carried it on too long. But I'll give them points for at least they're trying to do something creative. I like that. I can't get mad at that.
I found out Jackson Jobe's dad was on the PGA Tour.
Oh, really?
Yes, which I guess is why they elected that day to at least give you a few. I thought it went on too long, too. I thought the initial bit was good.
Yeah.
But I thought that it ended up being a little bit too much.
Jason Benetti's a star, man.
He is.
Pretty good. All right. That is the news at noon.
That's the first news at noon we've had from Ray in a while, man.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Well,
because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Ray was sitting here for 2 days.
Catbird seat.
And then he was off on Friday.
Wait, you move seats? You move over here?
I move over there.
Oh, you do?
Ray does this. Ray actually pointed out what's funny is we're like offensive linemen. Not only do we change seats in here, we all sit at different seats out in the office. Like I sit in your seat out there. Ray slides to my seat.
You sit in my seat?
Yeah. It's like we all sit at the offensive. It's like offensive linemen.
Why does he sit in my seat?
I don't know.
So
I don't understand why.
Here's why. I need access to the computer so I could print out my show sheet and I can listen to the audio. And I don't think I can get into the computer at that chair I usually sit at.
Let me just. You're not permitted to sit in my seat.
Not only did I sit in your seat, you know what I did for all 3 shows?
Pass gas?
I sat on your cushion.
Man.
3 straight shows, I sat on the cushion. I tell you, I'm a little uncomfortable today. It's not as soft on my butt.
That cushion's going out the window. I've had enough of it. 610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Monday, April 14th. The headline is Everybody Lost.
You want to get in? We'd love to talk to you. 610-632-0975. You can hit us up on the text board, too. Big topic today being the Sixers running it back. Feel pride in your Sixers organization. They're running it back. They got the same people coming back, but they're going to get younger. And they're still going to put the young people around the stars, Embiid, Paul George. Even though they're going to be a year older and he's going to be a year creakier. 12 o'clock hour, by the way, brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates, tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, let's go to the phones. We got our man hanging in, one of our great callers, Greg from Bethlehem, checking in. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen, good afternoon. How we doing?
Good afternoon to you, Greg.
I was glad.
Wait. What was that little laugh there? What was that? All right, that's all right.
I don't know.
It's all right.
I know that amuses you, and
it does.
It's something that I'm not even aware of, but it's
okay.
I'm glad to be. I'm glad to be entertaining.
You're right.
I was glad to see or hear that you got down to the Masters. What hole were you on?
I was all over the place. I roam.
Oh, okay.
I'm a roamer. I stayed. I did seat in the seat. I did sit in the grandstands at the 8th tee box.
Okay. Well, I'm always impressed by the length off the tee, but I think the thing that I find most impressive is the short game. Under 100 yards. I mean, these guys can pick it and stop it, and that just is part of the game that I've never mastered.
The spin? Yeah. They hit it exactly the right distance, and they've got a spot on the green that they hit almost every single time. What separates the amateur from the professional player. But the ball comes off the face of their club, their driver, like it's shot from an air cannon. Like I've never seen, to see that close up, it's like an air cannon. It goes 300 plus yards, like it was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, it's impressive just on TV, and I'm sure in person it must be even more impressive.
It is, and it's funny because I was thinking of Bill. Those greens are impossible. You see how you can roll off the greens, right? And Bill saying if you put your ball furthest away from the hole on every green, you can win the Masters. He's not accounting for the fact that if you're too aggressive, it rolls off. If you're too short, you've got a 4-putt situation. But Rory hit that green and it rolled off into the water. See that what day was that?
Was that
Friday?
Yeah, it was not the final round. It was one of the. Yeah, I think it was Friday.
Yeah, you can't hold them. So even if you start your putt on a green, there's no way you're winning. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry is going to win the Masters.
Greg, so on?
Yeah, I don't think Bill would have a chance at that.
No, Bill would roll off 17 times in 4 days.
I think I sent it to you when we had this conversation. I sent it to you. A guy did a scientific analysis of this, pulling how amateurs perform at Augusta and the rate of putts and all that. And it was not only would you win, you would dominate. If you started every hole on the green, even the farthest from the pin, you would dominate according to this analytical analysis.
Here he goes again. Here he goes again, Dr. Madoff. Is he gone?
I think Greg's gone.
All right, he's gone.
How many Madoffs in was Greg today?
Greg had a couple.
Sounded it.
I think he had a couple. I think Greg is an everyday Madoff drinker.
Every day? That's a lot.
I think he is. Brad, what do you think?
We ought to get a live broadcast at Trogs for the amount of Mad Elf advertisement we've given out over the last couple of months.
We do give up a lot of.
They're good.
A lot of people didn't know it was Trogs. See?
Well,
you just revealed.
Ray's trying to get an endorsement.
Ray wants a Mad Elf endorsement.
Yeah, he wants it.
You kidding me? Any beer sponsor would be great with me. You'd never see me so excited for a read.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to beer?
Listen, when someone gives me money, then they'll be my go-to.
Oh, really? So it's not. You don't have one?
I mean, I drink a lot of Miller Lite. I would say that's probably my leading one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, less calories, less filling.
Wonderful. Yeah. It's a fine Pilsner.
Fine taste, less filling.
Yeah. We're trying hard for some beer endorsements right now. You got to go Crooked Tees, right? That's where you got to go.
610-632-0975. On the other side, Daryl Morey telling the story of the Sixer season as only he can and as only you can listen to. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nurse to return. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game. While Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
Plenty to assess after a 24-58 season. 76ers with the fifth best odds to land the top pick in the draft. The draft lottery will be Monday, May 12th. We spoke to Keith Pompey earlier from the Inquirer about all things going on with 76ers. You catch that conversation on our website at 975thefanatic.com. Phillies lost 2-3 over the weekend to the Cardinals in St. Louis, including a 7-0 loss on Sunday. Phillies only mustered up 3 hits in that game. Phillies return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker takes the mound tonight. First pitch at 6:45. We're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft. Our own Andrew DeCecco will host an NFL Draft special on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best coverage of the Birds 2025 NFL Draft, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I was heated all day today at what Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse the press conference. The fact that they gave a press conference and did not say that they were not coming back bothered me. They shouldn't come back. Neither of them should. This was a disaster of a season. They're responsible for it. At least the president of basketball operations is more responsible for it than anybody. And he's coming back. Keith Pompey, we had him on a little while ago. He says, well, you have to take into consideration the fact that the owner of this team is occupied with the Washington Commanders right now, getting a new stadium, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not an excuse for me. You got to pay attention to the entities that you own. And right now, he seems like a detached owner who didn't pay attention to what this season brought. Like, I just don't understand it. So let's let Daryl Morey tell the tale. Let's run through 1, 2, 3, and 4, Ray, in rapid succession. So here's Daryl Morey saying, we're not where we expected to be.
Not where we expected to be. And, ownership, myself, Coach Nurse, Joel, Paul, Tyrese, our whole roster, we expect more. We really feel for the fans who put their heart and soul into this team, and we know we've let you down. Obviously, biggest factor that was really hard for us to manage was injuries this year. We missed, you need your top horses in this league, and we missed 134 games to our All-Stars. And, the next highest team was like 50 games missed from All-Stars. Ownership gave us the resources to make aggressive moves this offseason to put a championship roster around Joel and Tyrese. And sometimes those aggressive moves don't initially work out, but we feel good about that. Those three guys, our three All-Stars, going forward. I have to do a better job putting a supporting cast around them.
Listen, I know he's got to say that, but how could you feel good about Embiid and George right now? How do you feel good about that? What, is it me? How do you feel good about that?
You can't, but you also can't move them in light of their contracts, so this is going to have to be what the talking points are. Oh, we're excited. They're going to be back healthy.
See, that presumes that people are stupid. And I get insulted when a guy's trying to sell me a bill of goods and that's just not me. Sixer fans are smart people. Well, are they in fantasy world where they think this guy Embiid is going to go back? He's going to turn back the clock, and the same with Paul George. Come on, man.
That's what they're going to have to cross their fingers and hope, because if not, we're in 3 years of purgatory for the next 3 years.
All right, let's go with Daryl Morey, number 2.
When you go through a season like this, you need to, really take a step back, and everyone needs to find a mirror, starting with myself. What could have gone better? What can I do better? And there's quite a few things there. I would say one of those things is I was very focused on finding veteran-type players who, generally perform very well in the playoffs. And I didn't put enough emphasis on the team getting through the regular season. And so next season, for sure, we will be a younger, more dynamic group.
I'm glad there's a chuckle in there he threw in. Was that a nervous chuckle?
I can't hear through him trying to catch his breath.
It was a nervous chuckle, wasn't it? He threw in there?
When he threw that chuckle in there, you were the first person I thought of.
Yeah. Can we go back in time? Can we find me asking him that very question day one of training camp? Can we find that interview? Because I brought up the very point to him about the older role players. And not only that, but I brought up the 34-year-old Paul George thing. And he said to me, we'd rather have older star. What did he say? Something like, we'd rather have older stars than who are star players. The age doesn't bother me. Something like that. I'm going, well, maybe I could be in bizarro world here, because I'm seeing it one way, he's seeing it the other way. He's running the team, and I'm going. I'm going to the very basic, sensible thing, which is older role players are not going to help you in this league. They just aren't. You need young energy in this league. Anyway, we'll try to dig that out. In the meantime, let's go to why he's bringing back his head coach.
Coach Nurse has really done a good job. When you go through a tough time like this, you want to make sure to maximize it, and we feel like we've done that well. Justin Edwards, Jared McCain, Bona, who's had some great minutes here down the stretch, Quentin Grimes, who we got at the trade deadline. These are all guys, in their prime or well before it, into their early parts of their careers, that are going to give us great minutes. It's going to be a much younger, more dynamic group to help us manage through the season.
When you go through things like this, you want to maximize it. What did they maximize? What did they maximize? What did Nurse do to develop young players? What? Could somebody tell me?
I don't know, man. And the sad reality is this is probably the exact sales pitch he gave to Josh Harris. And Josh Harris was like, you know what?
You're right.
You're right.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he's not a sportsman. He sits there and eats popcorn and they giggle.
I just want to be out of this building.
What am I doing here? What's going on? Is it right in front of my eyes? What's this Sixer franchise? It's disintegrating. Bill, help me.
I can't help you, man. Maybe they win the lottery. Maybe that'll give us excitement when they get Cooper Flag. I don't know.
The more I hear,
You ever feel like nothing good was ever going to happen to you?
the more I hear this thing, the more sense I get. People got to help me out, please. 610-632-0975. Take a break. We're back after this.
Sixers president of basketball operations, Daryl Morey.
Show 97.5 The Fanatic. Did you watch any good TV this weekend, Bill? Have you been keeping up with this Mobland thing?
I haven't started watching it yet.
You
it's on
haven't
my
started
list.
to watch it.
It is
Okay.
on my list.
How about what's it called? The English, the kid who murdered the classmate? What's that called? Adolescence.
My wife watched it. She
Yeah?
told me I should watch it. Did you finish it?
I did not. I only watched the first 2 episodes so far.
Yeah, I have not watched that. I'm having a hard enough time keeping up with all the sporting events that I have to watch, mixing in with the kids and all that.
Yeah.
Always the kids.
I
right?
get you. All right, let's get to the text board because I'm sure we have a lot of texts on the Sixers. And then I want to move on to your fighting Phils and what's going on with them right now. Right? What do we got?
Yeah, we got Steve from King of Prussia. I agree with Mike. I would trade this Sixers team for the Rockets in a heartbeat. It's so intriguing to watch a young, athletic, and hungry team compete every game with an innovative head coach. The Sixers totally lost me and need a top-to-bottom overhaul.
Yeah, now the Rockets are many years in progress. So but I said that at the start of the year when Embiid was playing. I said, this is Rocket team. This is the type of team that you grow with.
Yeah, so now that we know the all the participants in the postseason, who you taking? Who's representing the East? Who's representing the West?
You know, people sell Cleveland short all the time. I don't know why. People just don't believe in them. They're a good team.
Can they get past Boston,
I think they can. I think they can get past Boston, the way they play. I like them.
The series I'm looking forward to.
I'm going to bet that because they have pretty good odds on Cleveland.
They do have good odds, right?
They're like third on the pecking order, I think. Aren't they?
They may be, hold on, I'll tell you right now. To represent the East, they're a plus 185, whereas Boston's a minus 140. But the closest third is the Knicks at plus 1,100. So,
the Knicks don't have it.
No.
Cleveland has enough. That's a good bet. I like that.
Now, in the West, they got OKC, obviously. The favorite is a minus 150, and then the Lakers behind them at plus 650.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
I mean, if you look at Vegas, it's going to be OKC, Boston, and that's not even close. But Cleveland's got a shot.
I think Cleveland's got a shot. All right, what else do we have on the text board there, Ray?
We got James from Levittown. I demand there be a meeting between all the general managers in Philadelphia sports. Dave Dombrowski and Morey need to take a good look at their neighbor, Howie Roseman, and take all the notes they can. They should be embarrassed as GM standing next to Howie Roseman. Morey sounds depressing, and I don't want to hear a lick of sympathy coming from him as if he even cares. Be more like Howie. How about that?
If he cared, he would be more open. If he cares so much about this fan base, he would have made himself more available during the season. Instead, he ran and hid. He didn't feel the need to communicate with anybody.
The one thing that Daryl Morey has done tremendously well this season is picking when he speaks.
Oh, yeah.
So think about this. He came on, he gave a press conference, and he came on with us the Friday before the damn Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
And then the next time we hear from him is a Sunday afternoon during the Masters and when the Phillies are taking up all the news. The guy's been masterful when he finally comes out of hiding.
Have I requested him today? Oh, of course I did. Have I requested him for tomorrow? Of course I did.
At this point, there's no more excuses. Like before, it was, let's see how Embiid works out. Let's see how the season goes.
Here is a response. Today is a busy one, as it is exit meetings for players and coaches in the front office in Camden.
I can understand that. What about tomorrow?
Didn't get an answer for tomorrow. No answer for tomorrow because I left that open. All right, let me move on. I'm on the GMs right now because our last text brought up Dombrowski, and I totally agree. There were two things that I looked at the start of the season that I thought they were lacking. One was the depth in the bullpen. The other was the fact that they had no options for any right-handed hitter in the outfield. That's on the general manager. Now, let me just say this about Brandon Marsh, who you're trying to still squeeze a drop of juice out of. You know he's 0 for 26, and he's hitting a $1.08. Brandon Marsh is a living, breathing example of why hitting coaches in Major League Baseball are 80% irrelevant. Because most people, well, how come the hitting coach gave it? And again, I keep telling people, it does not matter what a hitting coach does. Maybe a hitting coach can point out a technical flaw, whatever. When you get in that batter's box, you got to believe that you can hit. He doesn't believe he can hit. You can see it all over his face. He's in there going, I got to get that bat over with. He has no concept of aggression to drive through a baseball right now. And if you're that lost, there's only one solution.
Got to
get at bats in the minor leagues. You got to get your confidence back up. So when you come up, you've got to. Can he get confidence up here right now? No. He's overmatched right now. So I don't know what they're going to do. But if they get him back to the minor leagues, would they bring up Crawford for a look-see? I don't know. Would they have to make a trade? Maybe. And if they have to make a trade, is Marsh coming back up?
If they make a trade, probably not. Look, I could still see a scenario where Marsh is a bench piece for you. He's just not an everyday center fielder.
So he would be a bench piece, and Cody Clemens would not be with this team. In which case you say, let me pinch hit. I need a left-handed pitch hitter late in the game.
Do you trust Brandon Marsh right now?
Or Cody Clemens?
It's crazy. I have more faith in Cody Clemens
as a one-at-bat guy.
As a one-at-bat guy. So then you keep Marsh down and keep Clemens here.
That's what I'm asking.
But they haven't really trusted Clemens at all. I mean, he's only had 3 plate appearances all season. There's been opportunities for him to pinch hit.
I don't know. But maybe he would have had to play the field if they pinch hit. I don't know who he was pinch hitting for because they haven't played Rojas a lot.
No, they haven't. They have not. Look, I know you hate it. But with the way Edmundo Sosa is swinging the bat, I still would like them to get him reps in the outfield.
Can you please stop, please?
Keep giving him reps.
Please.
Mike.
Right away, he's starting to peter out offensively.
He had another hit yesterday.
Now. He had 1 hit yesterday. He's 1 for his last 7.
They only had 3 hits as a team, and Sosa had 1 of them. So.
And what was Sosa? Give me Sosa's his streak right now since he had that big game.
Let me
What's he
open it
done
up.
since?
I know
what I've warned about, if you play a guy too much, you exhaust him.
His last 5 games, Sosa, he was 1 for 3 yesterday. He was 0 for 1 when he pinch hit against the Braves. Then he was 0 for 3, and before that he was 2 for 4 against the Dodgers. So he hasn't had a lot of opportunities.
All right, so he is 3 for his last
11. 3 for 11.
Okay,
it's not terrible.
Yeah, that's it's like 2.
He's hitting this year
270. So.
His on base percentage is .464. He's hitting .444.
1 for his last 7.
Yeah, but you got to just keep.
What I'm saying.
But when you have the lack of options in the outfield, yes, you saw what the growing pains would be. You saw that he was struggling at times with fly balls. He also robbed a home run, Mike. I mean, that was insane what he did out there. And I think you give him more reps and you just deal with some of the growing pains. He's your best option out there right now. And that's saying a lot about the lack of what Dombrowski did in the offseason, but he is your best option right now in the outfield. And I know Stott has still struggled, but I still want to see them getting Stott going. I don't like yesterday you sat Stott, but yet you have Marsh in the lineup. I would have done the same
So
thing.
you're going to play Sosa in left field.
Yeah, put Sosa out there and play Stott at second.
Play Stott against lefties.
Yes.
And you're going to play, so when Bohm needs a blow, what do you do there?
Well, then you figure it out. But Bohm doesn't need a blow every day.
Well, Bohm is struggling. Bohm is struggling right now.
Yeah, he is. But, so, I mean, Stott's hitting 60.
Right away, your mind went to a sophomore.
Well, because I saw Ray look at it.
Yeah.
I didn't look at you. You looked right at me.
Yeah.
Don't even start.
Stott's hitting .063 against left-handed
So
pitchers.
sometimes you would have to play Sosa at second base. And what do you do in the outfield? You got all these solutions, but you're not practical.
Well, you're going to have to
play Sosa in left field. Well, you got a second base, third base situation as well where you need it.
Yeah, but in a normal day, on a normal day where you're not sitting Bohm, he's your third baseman. If there's a left-hander on the mound, I would put Sosa in left, and I'd keep Stott in the lineup. I like that better than putting Marsh in left. Or Kepler is the other option out there.
Kepler's supposed to be an everyday player.
He's supposed to be, but he hasn't been. I mean, Kepler's been struggling, too.
Right now, I would play Kepler still against lefties, and I would play Sosa. Stott's just not hitting left-handers at all.
So let me ask you this. There's a right-hander on the mound tonight for the Giants.
Yeah.
Is Marsh in the lineup tonight?
Yep.
See, I think you go Kepler and Rojas tonight. I know that's not normally what he would do.
You're not playing Rojas against the right-hander.
Dude, you got to sit Marsh down. Marsh has to sit tonight. You can't keep putting this guy out there, Mike.
Well, the way Thompson works usually is to give a guy an opportunity to get out of a slump, hit his way out of a slump. And maybe against a right-handed pitcher tonight, he hits him out. I guarantee he's in the lineup tonight. Although last time I guaranteed you won.
Yeah.
I said there's no way Sosa's
Oh, you're going to start listening to Billy Baseball.
Yeah.
Predicted the Masters.
You know, it is amazing that you get all giddy over the catch, and yet he made 2 bad throws, and then a ball dropped because of bad communication, which killed your pitcher.
Growing pains. But I think he showed enough potential that you keep trying the experiment. And Rob Thompson said they were going to keep trying.
Potential? He made one sensational catch. That was the potential.
That's all I needed, man.
You are
sensational catch.
Quick sell, man. Seriously. Also, can play left field. He made one catch. I go, this is the worst thing that could happen to Bill Colarulo, that he makes that catch. And sure enough, there you are chirping on Twitter.
Oh man, I was taking
Billy
a victory
Baseball.
Lap. Hit it right.
Victory laps.
Hit the clip we played all day Wednesday when Mike wasn't here.
Bill, you were right all along.
My favorite drop we got on the board.
That was such a sarcastic way of saying it too. It's like nobody could ever take that seriously, that I'm actually giving you a compliment.
I don't know how you don't just say to yourself, I should listen to Bill from here on out. I mean, how many things have I been right about? I'll give you the Sixers, though. You got that. You were right on the Sixers' misery.
I would listen to you pontificate about cricket before I listen to you on baseball.
The best is I was reading some of the comments because people were coming at Mike once the lineup got put out there.
Yeah.
You got to apologize to Bill. Mike was refusing to back down. Bill's never right about anything.
Yeah, Bill, apologize. I'm going to apologize to Bill. A whole day in hell. I apologize to you. But it's really funny the way that game played out. Bill had his moment, and then other people go, Mike, you were right. He doesn't belong in left field.
But look, you got to try something. You have to. There's no other answer out there right now.
Make a deal.
Well, yeah, eventually you got to make
a deal. 610-632-0975. Let's make a deal. Al Pacino line? I'm reading his biography, by the way.
Pacino's?
Yeah.
Have you ever read it before?
No. Just came out.
He wrote a autobiography? Or someone else wrote it?
Autobiography. Called Sonny Boy. There's nothing. It stinks. Really?
Oh, wait. Isn't that where
listen, I want to pontificate on this when we come back.
All right.
Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nurse to return. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game. While Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
A lot to assess after a 24-58 season. The 76ers fits best odds to land the top pick in the NBA draft. The NBA draft lottery will be Monday, May 12th. Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer joined us earlier on in the show to talk about the 76ers. You catch that conversation one more time at 97.5thefanatic.com. Phillies lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in St. Louis. The Cardinals, including a 7-0 loss on Sunday, with the Phillies only mustered up 3 hits in the game. Phillies return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game set with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker takes the mound tonight with first pitch at 6:45. Also, we're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Our own Andrew DeCecco will host an NFL draft special on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock right here on the Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment. Revive your ride at summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 4th. I'm Ray Dunn on the home for the best coverage of the Birds 2025 NFL Draft, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's Mike Missanelli Show. All right, so I'm meant to record a break. I'm reading this autobiography, Al Pacino, called Sonny Boy. That's was his nickname when his mother, I think he was raised by a single mother. But he goes, like the first several chapters about him growing up in South Bronx with like his friends like Little Petey. And I go, what do I... You're Al Pacino. Do I care the way you were hanging out in the neighborhood with Little Petey?
Wait, is this speaking of Little Petey? Is this where the story came of when he fell on the fence and hurt Little Petey?
I don't know. I didn't get that far yet.
Right?
No, I didn't read that part of it.
Is that where that story came from?
I don't even know that story, to be honest with you.
Where he fell on the fence? You know what I'm talking about. Wasn't that him?
Yeah, maybe it was.
Didn't we talk about this on the air before where he slipped on a fence and hurt his manhood a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that was it.
Wasn't that in this?
Yeah. But it bored me. Like, what's the most... What do you want to know most about Al Pacino? Like, if I'm writing I'm Al Pacino, I'm writing an autobiography. I go, what do the fans want to know most about me?
I would want to know how he got his start with acting and all that type of stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's boring also. What's the most notable thing about him? He starred in The Godfather. Maybe the best movie of all time, right?
Correct.
Wouldn't you want to know the interaction that he had with all those characters and all those actors? Like, what was going on the set? Who he didn't like, who he liked them, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but when the definition of a biography is about the guy's life. What did you like? You're not going to just pick it up and start there.
My point is, he doesn't go enough into that. That's the most important part of his life.
Well, you're probably not there yet.
I'm in there.
You're talking about his childhood.
No, he passed over it already. Now, I don't know if he's going to come back to it later, but he's talked about The Godfather, how he got the part. But there was no development of, like, James Caan, how'd they get along? What was the Diane Keaton dynamic? The whole thing. Like, that's what I want to know.
Well, it sounds like you want to read a book about The Godfather.
No, I want to read about Al Pacino's most important part of his life, which was that. Now, he said the next movie he did from The Godfather was Scarecrow with Gene Hackman.
I never saw it.
He said, well, he got nominated. It was actually a pretty good movie, but I never saw it either, but it got good reviews. And he said Hackman never really talked to him. That's the stuff I want to know about the movie industry and Al Pacino. He's done a million films.
Wait, Hackman big time Pacino?
Hackman, yeah. It was like because he was this young upstart actor who got all this acclaim for The Godfather. He was kind of an unknown, and Hackman had been plying the trade for a while.
Wow. I mean,
you got to write an autobiography. It's like,
who would you say had a more successful career ultimately?
Well, when you're in the greatest movie of all time, he did. Pacino did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hackman shouldn't have big timed him.
Well, Hackman did a lot of great movies too.
He did. But Pacino's body of work is better. Yeah. And not taking anything away from Hackman. Hackman had a great career,
well,
too.
Hackman's body of work was buried.
In the 70s.
No, right now.
Correct.
Oh, you see what I did there? Another poor, ill attempt at humor. Bad taste.
Very bad taste. Too soon. Too soon,
Absolutely.
as they say.
It is 1 o'clock. You are listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. We broadcast every day from where, Bill?
The Comcast Business Studios.
And what's that do?
Powering possibilities.
Powers possibilities. That's correct. All right. So many months ago, Bill, when was it? When we were at Sixers training camp, first day of.
What would have been September, was it?
September 30th.
September 30th. We get there to broadcast, and we're going to have Daryl Morey on the show. And a couple hours into it, we do get Daryl Morey. And I, instead of like relishing in the moment of the first day of training camp, I decided to ask him some questions about some stuff as the team was shaping up, because I don't really buy propaganda that everything's going to be wonderful. So I asked him about a couple things. The first thing I asked him about was Paul George, right, Ray?
Yes.
All right, so this is what he had to say when I asked him the question about Paul George. I believe the question is in this.
Let's talk about the I don't know, the downside that everybody brings up about Paul. You are not Yeah, you said you're not worried about guys who are 34 years old as long as they're a star. You're not worried about 34-year-old stars. A lot of people seem to be, because if you're going to have to load manage, they're going to miss because of injury, and at that age you usually do miss some games. That messes up your seeding and blah blah blah. And teams that don't finish in the top 3 seeds normally don't go to a championship game. So reconcile all that for me.
Yeah, no, I think all good questions. Look, I think you need great players to win, especially how well he fits. And then on top of that, I guess I'd ask for people to just sort of to wait to see how Paul looks. Obviously, we've seen him in the gym doing off-season optional workouts here for quite a while. He reminds me of some guys I've had in the past they look a little timeless in how they look. He for sure does not look like an older player to me when I watch him. He looks like a guy right in his prime.
All right, he looks timeless, Bill.
Oh my God! Listening back now, listening back,
got that timeless look about him.
Oh, there was so much hope that day too. So much hope.
You need great players to win. He's got a timeless look about him. Okay, now I asked him about because it always be Bill. It always bothered me that they signed older role players. I do not like older role players. I don't in NBA. I don't think older role players do you any good.
You were concerned about this from the jump.
Yes, I was, and so I asked him about it. Here it is.
The other thing is, and I don't want to seem like I'm bringing all these negative points out there.
No, that's your job. Come on, man.
Because last year you brought in a bunch of role players who were older role players, and it really didn't work out. They kind of broke down, and you had to go without guys like the Covingtons of the world. So how are you sure that these guys are going to sustain?
Well, you're never sure about anything, obviously, but part of it is, like you mentioned, having a full contingent of that, plus a lot of high-end talent. We feel good about how we'll be able to manage that through the season.
Okay, well,
Mikey Miss sounded prophetic with these questions.
What do you want me to say? Listen, I'm not this great insight into the game of basketball. I just base my questions on logic. And I go, Paul George, don't be fooled by the fact that he played a lot of games last year. It was a contract year. He played a lot of games, which showed his interest level was a little high because he wanted a new contract. Before that, he averaged 43 games a year for 3 straight years. He's a 34-year-old player. You can't erase age from a player. So logically, it didn't seem like that great a move. And then logically, it didn't seem like when you load up on how many role players did he have that were 35 years old or more? 3?
Yeah,
what are you getting out of guys like that?
Lowry, Gordon, Reggie Jackson, right? All 3 of those guys. Anybody else that was older? No.
We must be forgetting one. There's got to be another guy in there.
From a role player.
Did he sign Rocco? No, he didn't sign Rocco.
Oh, but your question.
I was basing it off the year before when he did the same thing and nothing paid off. So when do you learn?
Your question was so prophetic that people in the YouTube chat are asking, oh, Mike was at the press conference the other day? No. This was going back to the preseason before the season started. We were at Media Day. You were asking these questions. So if you're just joining us, what we're playing was the press conference when he joined our show back on September 30th. When Mike was asking about the older role players.
Yes. So, I don't know. Whatever.
Well, at least we're going to get a lot of change this offseason because Daryl Morey promised us, Mike, that they're going to come back with a younger, more dynamic supporting cast.
Yeah, and listen, let's play this since he throws a bone to all of you. Daryl Morey 6, right? Yeah, just give me a little Daryl Morey 6 and make everybody feel better here.
I want to thank the fans that have stuck with us. It is amazing the support we get, even in a very tough season like this.
Yeah, that's the most amazing thing. Because I went to a couple of games and I thought people actually invested in the result with the crap that you gave them this year. So the least you can do is thank the fans.
Yeah, it's the least they should do. It was a long year. I was really hoping, though, that we were going to have a lot of things to talk about because there was going to be all sorts of drastic change. There was going to be a change in the front office. They were going to change the coach, and we'd be able to go back and forth about where should they go, who should they hire. Nah, we're running it back. Sure, a lot of fans are happy about it.
All right. He did address Embiid, not the surgery and not what they actually did, but he did talk about him being an MVP talent. Now, for my money, he's a little short of an MVP talent with his body in the shape that it's in. Can you win with him? I mean, who knows? Who knows what this guy is going to give for you for the rest of the time? I have no way of knowing what he could possibly give to you that would make your team rise up enough to be some kind of contender.
We don't know, but that's why we're going to just have to cross our fingers and hope because there's no solution. You're not moving on from him. They're making that clear. I don't even know if a team would want him at this point.
On the other side, I want the people to hear what Daryl Morey had to say about Joel Embiid. In the meantime, if you want to climb in via the text or by telephone conversation, it's 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 610.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, just a couple of things here, because the two biggest problems with the Stars were the doctors who apparently gave them information that they can manage the Embiid thing, and then the decision to sign Paul George. So let me just go down the list of people here. When we get to the George comment from Morey, he says it was a group decision. Let me give you the group. The group, does it include the managing and limited partners, do you think, Bill?
The managing and limiting partners. I'm sure Josh Harris was involved.
Oh, it's Josh Harris, co-managing partner David Blitzer, limited partner David Adelman, limited partner Martin Geller, limited partner Mark Lader, limited partner Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. Think they were brought in?
You think Will Smith was involved?
You think they were surveyed?
No.
The survey says?
No, I highly doubt.
All right. So basketball operations. Daryl Morey, president, basketball operations. Executive vice president for basketball operations, Peter Dinwiddie. General manager is Elton Brand. VP of player personnel, Prosper Karangwa. Assistant general manager, Ned Cohen. Director of player engagement, Harold Hitches.
Well, good news, because they only said Elton Brand is coming back. So maybe they're going to make a move at some of those other spots.
Oh, that's going to really improve.
Yeah, that'll change things.
This is what I have been told by people inside. That he doesn't listen to anybody anyway.
Who, Morey?
Yes. That Daryl Morey doesn't listen to any of them. That he makes his decision and they just, they go along with it. Whatever he wants to do. But he doesn't listen to anybody. So when he says it was a group decision to sign him, that was a Daryl Morey decision to sign him. Maybe he had group support on it, but that was the Daryl Morey. Everything stops at his mat.
So he's deflecting that.
Well, I don't know if he's deflecting or not, but it's a group decision. Sounds like a way. Well, yeah, it sounds like he wants to deflect.
Yeah, if it was really him calling the shots, then he would say that one's on me.
Yes. All right, so let's start with because he also throws the doctors under the bus here, right?
10 of them.
Right. So this is Daryl Morey 14, Ray.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, Coach and I aren't doctors except for his name, but we're not doctors, and we have to rely on the information they give us to make our decisions. And it's not just one doctor; we're talking about multiple doctors. And Dr. Glashow going in there, a surgery, coming out very optimistic, makes us optimistic.
Oh, okay. So this is the doctor he's talking about the Embiid surgery just now.
Did you like the joke too?
But not, the nurse joke.
Yeah.
Except the nurse isn't the doctor either. So in any event, he didn't address the decision because he also threw it to the doctors when they decided to give him the contract. You remember him talking about the doctors back then?
Yes.
Saying the doctors have informed us that they think that we can manage it through an entire season and blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is they were looking for a reason to re-sign him. And so they found it.
But why?
By the doctors saying we can manage it. Meanwhile, the doctors are going to go along with anything that they think they want to hear. Right? The doctor's not going to say, I would not recommend you signing this guy to a long-term contract. They're going to say, yeah, sure, we can manage it. Because we're medical professionals. Yeah, we can manage any situation.
Yeah, of course.
Tell them what they want to hear. They can read the tea leaves.
But I still don't understand why. Like, The explanation he gave on why they gave the contract was because, if we're going to sign Paul George, then we wanted to lock up Joel too. But,
right.
But why couldn't you just wait?
And Robin.
But why not just wait? It wasn't as if he was in the final year of his deal.
Yeah. Well, okay. You're onto it. All right, now let's move on to PG was a good fit. Daryl Morey, 15.
Well, I think with that, Paul, we thought was a very good fit, obviously. We brought him here. He's only here because he wants to play with the organization, but very specifically with Joel Embiid. I think, for us, that was the best plan to put the best team together. And that's a group decision when you make those decisions. Long way of saying, when you have Paul signed long term, it's important for your MVP level player to also be signed long term.
There you go. So it's a group decision. Hey, listen, I wanted him, but a lot of people wanted him.
Yeah, he's deflecting again.
He's totally deflecting.
But look, you can't.
He's only here because he wanted to play with Embiid. So what? So what? He wanted to play with Embiid. So what? You give him a 4-year deal? All right.
And can we be honest here? The reason Paul George is here is because you gave him 4 years and $200 million.
Exactly.
That's why he's here.
Yes.
It's not just, I'm going to take I'm going to take a reduced contract to play with Joel. No, you gave him the most money and the most years that anybody was offering. That's why he's here.
There's nothing prudent about that decision.
By the way, I saw this circulating on Twitter. This is why you got anything Daryl Morey says, it's hard to listen to. On Friday, February 7th, that was the Friday before the Super Bowl, right? So that Super Bowl Friday is when he spoke to the media. That's when he said, they're still a championship team, but you just got to squint a little bit to see it.
Yeah.
They proceeded to go 4-28 after those comments from Daryl Morey. So can you really believe anything that he says at this point?
You better squint pretty hard, bro.
Yeah, talk about squinting. 4-28 after those comments were made. Team really responded.
All right. Ray, what do we have?
We're just focused on championship. And I know you have to squint a little, but we feel like this group can still do that.
4-28 after that comment.
This team can still do that. You got to squint a little bit, but this team can still.
Oh my God!
I am just perplexed, man, at this whole thing. In any event, 610-632-0975. The Masters result delighted a lot of people with Rory, but a former professional golfer panned the broadcast by saying they weren't tough enough on Rory when he choked that last putt away on 18 that led to the playoff.
I didn't see this. I got to hear it.
We'll get to it after this. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Morey and Nerds to return. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers season came to an end yesterday with a 122-102 loss to the Bulls. President of Basketball Operations Daryl Morey and head coach Nick Nurse met with the media following the game. While Morey admitted fault for the season, he announced that both he and Nurse will return.
Coach Nurse and myself will be back, but we're going to assess everything and where we can get better. We owe that to the fans. We owe that to really everyone who cares so much about this team.
A lot to assess after a 24-58 season. 76ers with the fifth best odds to land the top pick in the draft. Lottery will be on Monday, May 12th. Keith Pompey joined us in the 11 o'clock hour to talk all things 76ers. You catch that conversation one more time on 97.5 thefanatic.com. The Phillies lost 2 of 3 over the weekend in St. Louis. The Cardinals, including a 7-0 loss on Sunday, with the Phillies only mustered up 3 hits. The Phillies return to Citizens Bank Park tonight to begin a 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Taijuan Walker takes the mound tonight with first pitch at 6:45. Also, we're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft, and our own Andrew DeCecco will host an NFL Draft special on Wednesday night at 6 right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. I feel like owning your first Mercedes-Benz. Hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching, the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 thefanatic.com.
We want to hear from you. Missanelli show. A couple issues we want to get to before we get out of here, including the one where the Tennessee quarterback tried to hold him up for more money. I think it's a fascinating story.
They're getting rid of him, right?
Oh, the Wild West.
Is that what's happening? They're getting rid of him?
Yeah, they called his bluff. He tried to call their bluff, and they said sayonara. We'll get to that in a second. But let's get back to the text board here, where we got a lot of people texting in today, right? What are they saying?
Yeah, we got people upset, of course, with the 76ers. James in Miami Beach. I'm officially out on anything Josh Harris related. This organization clearly has no respect or feel for any responsibility towards the 76ers fans. Firing everyone wouldn't even put a dent in fixing the ridiculous lack of self-awareness with this team. I'm not going to bother with the wait-and-see approach. I'm out. Let's go, Birds.
Wait a minute. Didn't you just hear Daryl Morey apologize? Can you play that again? How he apologized to the fan base? Yeah, which one was that? It was a short one.
I want to thank the fans that have stuck with us. It is amazing the support we get, even in a very tough season like this.
Because they all bought season tickets, anticipating a great season, and they were stuck with them. And they go, "What do I do with them? Do I sell them for $2, or do I show up?" It's a chance to get the kids into the building. The kids don't know any better.
What do you think it's going to be like headed in the next season, though? Because this year there was. I know that, Mike, you had questions. But I would say a majority of the fan base headed into this season was excited about the possibilities that this Sixers team was going to be able to get over the hump and get out of the second round.
Yeah, that's even worse. They got duped.
Yeah, but do you think there's going to be any excitement or any buzz leading into next season?
Listen, this fan base is a smart fan base. If you think they're going to come back and have this, like, they're going to see right away what they are, and what they're going to see is they're not going to see a better Embiid, a better Paul George, are they? So whatever enthusiasm they have, that it's like misguided hope that they're going to be different. Maybe it applies like the first couple of games, but then they'll find their level, which is their level's not good enough right now because their older players aren't stars anymore.
Yeah, but if they're not, if Embiid and George are no longer stars, you still got 3 years of them.
Yeah, you do. And that's terrible for the fan base. What else are they saying, Ray?
You were going through the front office position. Someone texted in, Director of Player Engagement of the most unengaged roster I've ever seen. How the heck does that work?
It is incredible. I forgot. Like, would this person be senior manager of player engagement? Is that like part of the whole thing? That would make it 7. They have a summer associate listed.
Oh, that's not a bad gig.
They have director of team operations. Now that's probably that's not a position where you're involved in any kind of personnel thing. Then a manager of team operations, director and a manager of team operations. What's that mean? What's team operations do?
No idea. I'm not sure.
Anyway, they have equipment operations manager. I know that's an important position. Joe Ficitola.
Now, what'd you think of? Because I'm talking about next season at all. What'd you think about Maxey saying there's only one way to go, up? Can't get worse, basically. It can get worse next year.
I don't know. I can't believe this coaching staff. Can you indulge me here? All right, head coach Nick Nurse.
Coming back.
Assistant coach Bobby Jackson. Assistant coach Rico Hines. Assistant coach Doug West. Assistant coach Matt Brace. Assistant coach Kobe Carl. Assistant coach Brian Gates. Assistant coach head video coordinator John Corbaccio. Assistant coach player development Fabulous Flournoy. Assistant coach player development Demetrius Nichols. Player development associate coach TJ DeLeo, Temple's finest. Right there, TJ. Good kid. I like TJ. Player development associate coach Reggie Redding, former Villanova player. Player development associate coach Teray Murray. Player development associate coach Terrell Harris. Chief of staff Jenny Melville. Director of coaching operations Michelle Bell. Assistant video coordinator Kareem Thar. Now, how many is that?
I lost count.
I mean, seriously? This is a group decision. A lot of people in on these decisions.
I don't know, man.
All right, let me get to this other story here.
Oh, is this the golf one?
Yes. So if you watch the Masters, Rory choked several times during the final round. Now, I will say this. the announcers absolutely fawn over Rory McIlroy. He's the new Tiger as far as fawning over somebody. There is not one person that will have a bad word to say about Rory McIlroy. You get that, right?
I do, but it's also the storylines. I mean, the fact that this guy came onto the scene, he was a phenom from a young age, and he comes on and he wins 3 majors within a 2-year span.
Yeah.
And now we're going on until yesterday, 11 years without one.
Whatever the reason
the storylines are
they
great.
Completely fawn over.
Yeah.
Now the fact that he didn't win a major in 11 years should lead to some kind of a critical look at his guts,
because he does choke a lot.
But they never say that. They fawn completely over him. So yesterday he hits one on 13. He hits it in the water after laying up. Mind you, he hits it in the water, which is something we would do.
Yes.
Not a professional golfer of his element.
You're right, after laying up, too.
And he gets to 18. He's 125 yards away. He puts it in the trap. The only possible way he can lose the tournament is to put it in the trap.
And then there's one more that happens.
And then he chokes the putt.
Because then
After
he gets
he
out.
comes out of the trap and gets to 4 feet, he misses the putt.
It wasn't even close.
So after he missed the putt, Nance says, we're going to a playoff. And didn't say, oh, I missed it. And Steve Elkington, who is a former pro, is an Australian, wanted a little more criticism of McIlroy. And he says, he comments, that I guess he was tweeting, that was a wedge right into the bunker on 18. A wedge. And then he says, he said they weren't critical enough when he missed that putt because they keep fawning. They coronated McIlroy during the round, and after he missed the putt, it's like, well, what, you have to mention that he missed the putt and he choked the putt away, don't you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Golf announcers are completely different.
Yeah, they're not going to be as critical. But he did. He was trying to choke this away again. And I guess maybe this guy's right. They should have maybe called him out a little more.
Listen, I don't really like anybody on PGA. There's nobody that I go, I got to really see him because I really like him. I just don't have that kind of feeling for any of these PGA players. And I guess he's an affable, intelligent enough guy, the way he communicates with the golf public, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess there are a lot of people that wanted to see him win. But I keep saying, there's nobody else on the PGA Tour that's likable enough or good enough. Even Scheffler isn't likable enough, is he? Is he likable?
Well, he's not unlikable, but there's nothing that's
overly likable.
Yeah, there's nothing about his personality where you're like, wow, I love Scotty.
So Rory's the little kid that came along with the curly hair, and everybody coronates him. I agree. But it's because there's nobody else that you can root for other than this guy. And he hasn't won a major in 11 years. Hadn't won a major in 11 years.
Yeah, but that's just wild. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I don't know. I mean, what should Nance have done? Been like, oh, there's something in my throat. I'm choking.
No. He should have said, oh, he missed that. Something like that.
What a disaster.
Well, it is a disaster.
A bona fide scrub. He can't play.
I told you earlier, man, I have never felt bad for an athlete that I had no connection to until yesterday. When he missed that shot on 18, first he puts it in the bunker, like you said, and then to miss that putt.
There's no way I thought he was going to win the playoff.
No.
Because when you lose something like that, it's like you lost your best friend at that point. Like, I don't know how you can gain mentally. He crunched a driver. And
Rose was putting the heat on. I mean, he hits a great tee shot.
A great shot there to 10 feet, and then Rory has to counter that, and it has the same shot. And the demon's going through his head. Oh, I clanked this one before. I wonder if I'm going to clank it again. Like stuff that we would think about. That's why when I stand over a shot, that's what I think about. Every negative thought comes into my head.
Yeah, like when he had the 4-footer to win it all on 18 before the playoff. Me and my group chat were texting, all right, here comes the knee knocker. Like, this is how we would be a nervous wreck at our tournament.
But he missed a putt like that to lose another major.
I know. It's been crazy for him.
So, like, the coronation of the kid is really interesting to me. And it's got to be because nobody else brings the same level of popularity as this guy who is self-effacing and unassuming.
So, me and my group chat were texting, though. Like, midway through the back nine, we were saying, if that was Tiger, this tournament would have been over before the back nine
there's
even
no
hit.
question.
He would have never allowed anybody to even get close to him.
No, you're right.
Whereas Rory was letting people have an opportunity. Tiger, this would have been over. We would have been watching the back nine with a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. Now,
This is Tiger's.
The fact that he's won the Slam now makes him one of the great golfers in the echelon of golf.
Only the sixth golfer ever.
Right. So he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. But is he as great as Tiger? No, he's not even.
No,
close.
not even close.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
I can't kind of make some proclamation.
Show 97.5 The Fanatic. This is a conversation that really deserves more than the amount of time that we're going to allot to it. But the Wild West of the transfer portal and how it filters down to major college football is fascinating to me. And most people love the fact that these players got free agency. And I actually like it too.
That the players can go?
But I also like it when the team calls their bluff. So the quarterback for Tennessee is a talented kid. His name is Nico Iamaleava. And so he realized he was only getting $2 million coming back this year. So he goes, nah, I want to renegotiate my contract. And you got to pay me accordingly to what other quarterbacks are getting in major college football. So he makes that statement and he doesn't show up for the first day of spring camp. Tennessee goes, you're out. We're moving on, which is fabulous. Don't you think? You could call the bluff, and they went, yeah, we'll move on with somebody else.
As you described it being the Wild West, that's what it is. So I think because there's no regulations at all, yeah, I think it should go both ways. I don't fault Nico for saying pay me more, and I don't fault the college for saying no, we're not going to. So he'll find his money elsewhere. I mean, you're right. They're basically free agents. But I think the players should be allowed to do this because, the coaches do this constantly. Coaches jump ship for more money every year.
Yes, they do. So you don't have a problem with the player asking for more money?
No. He outperformed it, in his opinion.
What did Tennessee? Did they win something?
I guess not. But in his opinion, he outperformed it and said, look, I'm making you more money than what I'm making here, so I want to be paid more. I think you should be able to do that. It's not a contract where he has to stay. Like, if he wanted to transfer, he could have. Instead, he gave them an opportunity. Hey, before I transfer, pay me.
So how do you feel about the whole state of college football when this is going on where you can't count on a guy coming back to be your quarterback if you're a big fan of the University of Tennessee?
Yeah, there's got to be some – I think they got to figure out – we all agree. The NCAA before was ridiculous. What they used to do.
Yeah, well, they're doing that now with this settlement in this case.
Yeah,
where they're going to give teams $21 million, which to me, to me, it's still a violation of antitrust. Like, I don't know how a settlement could not be challenged in court. There's no way to stop this. There's no way to control it. You would have to have collective bargaining to control this.
I don't know what the answer is. It is a mess. It's an absolute mess. But at least the kids are getting paid now. Yeah, because for all those years, it was ridiculous that they weren't. I don't know what the answer is, Mike.
All right. This is my buddies that I stayed with in Augusta on the line right now. Was it Lori and Scott you're saying calling in?
Lori in Georgia.
Lori in Georgia. It's just Lori. Yeah, this is my friend Lori. That's how I stayed with in Augusta.
Lori is a man or a woman?
Provided me the ticket.
Man or woman?
A woman. And her husband, Scott. Two tremendous people.
I wonder how you are as a house guest. I really want to hear this. You must be terrible.
Lori, you on the line here?
Yes. Hey, Michael.
Hello, Lori. Thank you for your hospitality.
Hey,
you and Scott
you?
were fantastic to us.
Well, thanks. You guys were easy house guests, and you were great at rolling with the craziness that was going on, as you well know.
Yeah, they had
what was the crazy?
Grandchildren and the biggest dogs I've ever seen. 208-pound golden retriever with heads like bears.
Really?
Yes, unbelievable. But Lori, you were on the course yesterday with Scott, right?
We got to go out. It was, as you know, it's epic. It's awesome just walking out on that, course. But it was incredible. We were there. We stayed till Rory got till the 18th. And then we sort of, Scott probably would have stayed till the end. We were second row. We had seats.
Oh, my God. What time did you get there to get second row?
Well, no. So we got there, I think it was close to 3:30. We got there late in the day. And we had friends who'd been there all day. And so we were trying to meet up with a few people, but as you know, when you don't have, nobody has phones, so good luck. You just have to wander around. But it was pretty incredible because we got second row. We didn't stay right at the top of the 18th. So if you go out way before Rory, right before they're going to get up on the 18th, we watched a little bit in the middle, and then we kind of made a beeline for the 18th.
So you camped out at the green on 18, waiting for that moment to come?
Yep.
Oh, man, that's the way to do it.
We did. Well, it's cool because you got to see everybody else finish. But I want to tell you, being there, it's nothing like, you know this, but while you're there, the roars on the entire course, everybody was chanting Rory, no matter where he was.
I know.
When he double bogeyed, the whole course groaned all the way up to the
what did you
18th.
say when he missed the putt on 18 to win the Masters? What was your reaction?
Oh, like everybody, we just were like, no, don't.
So you didn't
don't
say
do this, Rory.
choke. You didn't say that?
No, because I didn't want to get my badge pulled. So you know the drill.
Yeah, I know the drill. I laid down on my back. I almost got tossed out of the place.
So no, and you will never hear. Here's an inside story that I think I can share because I won't share who said it. But someone who knows Jim Nance and someone who you know, who I can tell you off air, who spoke to Jim, and Jim said, "I don't do one thing that the Augusta National doesn't allow me to do." So Jim Nance would not ever say
He choked.
Something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. You
he
can't.
wouldn't probably be allowed to say that.
So people listening out there, guys, see, this so snobby, this golf, especially the Masters. Well, Lori, we had a great time. Thank you for hosting us. We really appreciated it.
Thanks.
All right, there you go. We had a good time. They live in Augusta, and they usually rent out their house, but this year they didn't. So in their neighborhood, all the golfers were staying.
Oh, yeah.
They're renting out houses.
Probably
Probably
got
their neighbors' houses and stuff.
Probably got a nice chunk of change.
$25K.
Just for the week.
Yeah. And all these, corporations are renting. Like the Easy Go golf cart people were partying the whole weekend, man. They were just, they burned it down the whole week. Every time you drive down the street, they got the party going on. And so my buddy Scott, who is Lori's husband, and hosted me and my girlfriend Amanda, and we had a blast. But Scott goes out for a walk the morning of Saturday morning, and Justin Thomas is shooting hoops in the neighborhood on a neighborhood bat.
No way, he's got a good shot.
Yeah,
he don't have a good shot.
Oh, he had a backwards hat on.
See, how old's Justin Thomas?
He's shooting hoops at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
31 violation to be doing it at 31. I think he said over 30.
No, he's shooting hoops.
Well, so that backwards hat's acceptable when you're shooting hoops.
Well, yeah, but otherwise you're going to hit the bill. When
I'm just trying to figure out what's acceptable with the backwards hat.
Yeah, in that kind of situation, you get a pass. Well, he's up early. His tee-off time's not till 1 o'clock. And he's out there shooting hoops in the neighborhood.
I guess to stay warm.
On a makeshift basket.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do something to warm up. Apparently, the pitcher for the Cardinals yesterday was playing ping pong. Did you hear that before the game?
Was he?
That's how he warmed up.
That's pretty good because you move around, you get the blood flowing, you're playing ping pong. Mike misses all over the table.
And then he dominated the Phils.
I'm moving this way, that way. Boom, boom. Forehand smash.
Yeah, I'm not going to play.
I can't wait to just smoke all y'all.
Yeah, I'm not a ping pong guy. Oh, let me ask you, because we're coming up down the home stretch.
Yeah.
So you're predicting Marsh will be in the lineup tonight.
I am.
With a right-hander on.
Yes.
Now, here's what's interesting. I'm looking at the line on FanDuel. Phillies are a plus 1.5 in terms of run, but they're a minus 116 on the money line. Don't make sense.
I don't know what to tell you. I think they'll win tonight, though. Taiwan Walker again, right?
Yeah, you think he gives up a run? Now we're talking about whether he gives up any runs.
I don't know. See, now I think he's going to get blasted. He's due to get blasted.
And the Giants are playing well, man. This could be the night. This could be the night Taiwan comes back to earth. But I'm not betting against Taiwan because I did it the first two games.
All right.
If they, so you think Marsh is in the lineup, though? That surprises me.
I think he's in the lineup. I think I'm going to give him one more chance. All right, let's go back to the text board. Let's see what we got. We don't do another break here, right?
No.
Yeah,
you're rusty.
I am totally rusty.
3 days off.
3 days.
It must be nice. You're off 3 days. Ray's off a day. It's all right. I'll hold down the fort. I held it down.
Really?
Actually, Ray wasn't off. My apologies, Ray.
Anyways, Andrew living in Savannah now from the Northeast. Not firing Morey is just pure laziness on Harris's part. He's too busy with the Commanders now and doesn't want to deal with the whole process of getting a new GM.
Yeah, and that really hurt. It rubs me totally the wrong way. When you have an owner who's detached and just disengaged, and just goes there like it's a lark for him, like just to sit in the front row with his family and eat popcorn. Like it just bugs me.
Yeah, because who would make the decision to move on from Morey if it wasn't Harris, right? Is there anybody between Morey and Harris? Or for Morey to get fired, it would have to come from Josh
Oh, it
Harris?
would definitely have to come from Harris. The other people are limited partners. Like, they're not Harris. He's the controlling guy.
Yeah, we heard Pompey say that as well when Keith Pompey joined, that he's trying to get the new stadium down in Washington, so there's distractions. So the easiest thing to do is just run it back.
Let me go over this again. Let me just go over this again. Managing partner, Josh Harris. Co-managing partner. Does he have as much power as Josh Harris, David Blitzer?
No.
You don't think?
I don't think he has as much. Maybe.
It's called the Harris Blitzer Entertainment, whatever
So
it's called.
all right, maybe they are 50-50 then.
HBSE.
Yeah, Harris Blitzer. Limited partner David Adelman. He was the guy who was behind the new arena. Limited partner Martin Geller. I don't know who he is. Limited partner Mark Lader. I don't know who he is. And limited partner Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Now wait, Will and Jada aren't together anymore, are they?
Yeah, they are.
I thought they broke up.
No, they didn't bust up. Well, he stood by.
While legally married, Will and Jada have been living separate lives since 2016. It says.
Oh, well, they're not. That doesn't mean they're broken up. It means they have an arrangement.
Oh, another source says they're still together, but as far as cohabitating, they have separate homes for years. That's interesting. I guess that's a key to a happy marriage for some. Just don't live together. Right? I guess that whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes is right. Can you ever see yourself as somebody who would sleep in another bedroom?
Not with my wife. No, but in the past I had done. I mean, I am divorced.
Well, why
once.
is that? Because you wanted rest.
Yeah, I wanted my own bed.
You wanted your own bed
before, but no,
but not now.
Well, I got a nice king size bed. There's
You
nothing.
have a king?
Okay, what do you
A
have?
king size bed's overrated.
No way.
Yeah, it is.
You need it.
No, it's too big.
What do you have? Like a full?
Queen. Of a full.
Just a nice full? A twin? You got bunk beds? Right, what do you got? What do you got at your place? A day bed?
Stop it, man. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Day bed. Right? He had to get that last one in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for
Inflatable mattress.
We had fun today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.